I'm gonna let it load real quick and then we can hop on and get started. All right, it's good to go. All right, guys. Welcome. Looks like people are still rolling in right now. So let's see. Salim's here. What's up, Dejan? If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, and then we can go over, whatever pair you guys want me to look over, or pretty much anything else that you guys want me to cover, with regard to trading. Sorry, I'm looking at my messages real quick. Shawn is a trading webinar. Let me send this message real quick. Let's see. Telegram. All right, so I'll give it a few more minutes and let people roll in. But yeah, I'm gonna start looking at the charts right now. So if you guys have anything you want me to look at, I'll take a look. I know there's a lot of people in here that are interested in subscribing to K2. So if you guys want me to go over, any K2 strategies to, break it down for you, so let me know and I can go over, whichever strategy you want. We do have about, I think, 4 or 5 strategies. So if there's anything specific you guys want to see, feel free to let me know. So let me pull up the Craig. Yeah, so yeah, USD SGD, we're still in it. I'm holding, so I think it's still good. We just have to wait for it to pick up. Asia just opened, so we should probably see a little more volatility coming in, but it's just going to take some time before we actually see some real movement. So let's see. So yeah, I'll pull up USD SGD right here. So you can see right here, this is the pair that Craig's talking about. So what I see happening here is, so this drop happened, due to the news earlier, or that's pretty much what I'm anticipating happen, because the dollar index was going down. But what I do see happening is I see coming down to support right here, and then I see it shooting on up. Not that high, but it's right there. But it's just gonna take some time. This is probably reacting pre-NFP because obviously, the unemployment data is not going to be good. But generally, it ends up reversing in the opposite direction once NFP comes around. But we'll see. I mean, fundamentals aren't really following as they should be, during COVID. So we pretty much just got to play it by ear and see if it flips on up or not. I'm gonna check if there's any news. I don't think there's any news today. Let's see. So I'm gonna look at the calendar. So it looks like there's nothing happening tonight. There's just news at 5:30, which is the NFP and some Canadian news. So pretty much NFP for the US and for Canada. So those are both going to happen at 5:30. So we're probably going to exit all of our trades before that, just to avoid any crazy movement that happens during that time. So let me pull this up real quick. Nathan saying, is it close to entry? It's kind of far from entry right now. So let's see, entry is right here. It's not that far. It's like 35 pips. So, and it's, if you look at all these candles right here, they've all had a strong lower wick. So when you see that on the chart, that usually means that, it's starting to lose its momentum coming down. Because you can see right here, as this was coming down right here, it had a strong low wick and a lower wick right here, and then right here was a bunch of strong lower wicks, and you can see price shot on up. So that's kind of what I see happening right here. It's just dropping a lot of wicks. It's losing its momentum, pushing down, and I think as it reaches down here again, it's going to establish somewhat of a triple bottom, because we have a bottom right here, we have a bottom right here, and then if it comes down again right here, this is going to be the third bottom. So if we see that third bottom, it's probably going to shoot on up. So that's why I'm not too worried about this pair right now. You just got to give it time, because also since it's an exotic pair, it moves a lot slower than normal, major pairs and crosses that are crossed with, other major currencies. So pretty much I wouldn't worry about it. If you guys aren't in it, I wouldn't enter late because it is kind of late in the week and we have NFP tomorrow morning. So you don't want to be stuck in this trade, because probably by the time you get into profit, I'm probably going to advise people to either exit their trade or move their stop loss and profit just in case anything happens during NFP. Tabre, hey Tabre, how's it going? So I'm going to start going down the questions. If you guys have any questions that you guys want me to cover or any pairs you want me to analyze, just put them in the Q&A and then I can go over them. I'm probably not going to be paying attention to the chat because the Q&A is getting full. So just go ahead and put your questions in the Q&A and I'll be going down them chronological order. So let's see. First, D. Thomas wants me to go over GJ. So let me pull up GJ for you guys. So I got GJ right here. I've already pre-drawn the zones over here. I'll just add a trend meter so we can see what direction price is going with the overall trend. Obviously, it's trending upwards right here. And we have extra confirmation down here from the trend meter that it's trending up since the trend meter is green on the bottom. So right now, we got a false sell signal right here. And this is a false sell signal because it's a sell signal, but it closed with a bullish candle. So this would be considered a false signal. However, it's still indicating momentum down until we get a buy signal. So you can see over here, like this would be a valid buy signal because it was a buy signal with a bullish candle. And as you can see, as it closed, it shot on up. Also right here, we had a sell signal and it closed with a bearish candle. So then it came on down. Again, right here, bullish with a buy signal. And then you can see it kind of consolidated here a little bit with these invalid signals. So what I see happening right here, let me go on the shorter time frames. So we already have the zones plotted. I don't think there's any zones on the 30-minute. Actually, there's a zone right here. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle with a different color so we can see. We can identify, what zone is this plotted from. So I'll just leave this right here. So what I probably see happening right here is, well, you can see it already rejected right here. So you can see this. Let's see what's green. So this was a valid buy signal. So if you're applying the K² strategy, if you guys are familiar with it, I'll just type it up right here so you guys can see. I know there's a lot of new people here that have subscribed to K² and they have access to the strategy right now. So this is going to be the K² Intraday Strategy. And in order to take the strategy, first you want to identify, or we'll just say valid K² signal. Next, you want to make sure that K² trend meter matches signal. And then next, you're going to enter on open of following candle. So pretty much right here, there's still an active trade. I don't know if this is closed or not. So these are the requirements right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewind just so we can see where this entry started from. And then, so right here, we're going to match up the requirements. So first, you want to make sure that there is a K² signal, a valid K² signal present. So right here, we have a buy signal. And this is valid because it's a buy signal with a bullish candle. You can see they're both green. Next, you want to make sure that the K² trend meter matches the signal. So right here, the signal is a buy signal, which is green. And then the trend meter down here is also green. So once those two requirements are met, you can enter on the open of the falling candle. So I'm going to zoom out, use the long tool, and then I'll place it right there. So pretty much this would be the move. So I'm just going to fast forward to see where price is currently. So you can see right here, this move hasn't finished yet. And the reason why I plotted this is to analyze it, from where it is right now. So this is the actual full move. And since we see where the move is going to be completed all the way up here, now we can determine that price is going to be coming down, testing this support right here, and then shooting on up to finish the move because the move hasn't finished yet. So this is pretty much how I see GJ playing out. And if you do want to enter this, I would, let's see. So this is the intraday strategy. There's actually another strategy that you can use to apply, under these conditions right here that would actually work out perfectly. So if you guys have access to the indicators in the K2 strategy, if this candle closes with a sell signal, you'd be able to apply the K2 momentum strategy. So it's similar to this strategy, except I'll type it up here. What's the difference? So pretty much this is going to be the K2 momentum pullback strategy. So pretty much the difference here is it's going to be the same. You're going to need a valid K2 signal. And then next, you want to make sure. So here, the K2 trend meter matches the signal, but for this strategy, the K2 trend meter doesn't match the signal. And then you'll enter on the high of the high-low of the signal candle. So this is the main difference with this strategy. The main difference is that for the normal intraday strategy, you want to make sure that the signal and the trend meter match. For the K2 momentum pullback strategy, you're pretty much following the same requirements, except you want the K2 trend meter not to match. And the reason we want that is because for the K2 momentum pullback strategy, what we're doing is, since the signal isn't matching the trend meter, obviously you want to trade in the direction of the trend. So if the trend meter is green, you only want to take buy. So if we have a sell signal right here, then what that's indicating is that that's merely a pullback signal. It's not going to be a momentum swing down because the trend is still swinging up. So in that situation, if this candle right here closes with the signal present, what we would do is we would enter a buy position on the high of this candle, but this candle would have to close first. And then it would provide for an entry or a re-entry if you're trying to re-enter this trade. I'll show you an example of how this works over here, because this candle hasn't closed, but I'll show you, since I already showed you an example of the intraday strategy, I'll show you an example of the pullback strategy. So if I go back over here, so right here, let me pull the requirements down. Sorry. All right, so I want to pull this down right here. And then I'm going to put it right there. I'll just replay this. All right, so I already showed you guys the normal intraday strategy. This is going to be the momentum pullback strategy. So first you want to identify a valid K2 signal. Right here we have a sell signal, and it's a bearish candle since they're both red. Next, you want to make sure that the K2 trend meter doesn't match. So the trend meter down here is green, indicating that the momentum swinging, I mean not the momentum, the trend is moving upwards, but the momentum is swinging downwards for a small pullback. So in this situation right here, both of the requirements would be met because we have a valid K2 signal right here, and then the trend meter doesn't match. So in this situation, you'd enter on the high of the signal candle because we're going to be taking a buy in that direction. So in this situation right here, we'd enter a buy on the high of this candle. So I'd zoom out, enter a buy right here. This would be a buy stop order. So in this situation, since price is down here, as soon as price shoots on back up, since this is only a pullback candle or a retracement candle, whichever you want to call it, as soon as it swings up, it'll automatically fill your order and then swing on up for forward. So let's see how this plays out. So you can see right here. Okay, so right here, it was still down here, and then as soon as it reaches the entry point right here where your buy stop would be placed, so right here it still hasn't filled, and then right here now your order is filled. So as you can see, we'll let it play out, and you can see right there it hit TP for 71.9 pips. So this is exactly what I'm anticipating to happen over here if this candle closes with a opposite retracement candle right here. So there's a lot of ways to approach this, and if you guys have access to the K2 strategy, let me see if I can pull up the I'll pull up the course real quick so I can show you guys the different strategies that we have when you're applying K2, because there's so many ways to trade applying the K2 indicators, and they all pretty much work in the same way. They just provide for different entry points. So it makes things a whole lot easier, depending on where price is at the time. So let me open this up real quick. All right, so the first strategy that I went over right now was the intraday strategy. So if you guys have access to the course, I teach that strategy in detail right here. It'd be right here, the the K² Trades official intraday trading strategy. So that'd be the first strategy that I taught. And then the strategy that I showed you just now. So this would be the intraday strategy, and this would be the K² momentum pullback strategy. So these are two different strategies, and they're both explained here. The intraday strategy is right here, and then the momentum pullback strategy is right here as well. So pretty much if you wanted to learn either of those, you know, it'd be detailed here. I also have scalping strategies, the K2SR zone trading strategy, which I've been using for all the signals for the past 2 months, and then the daily K2 US30 strategy. And I can go over that later as well if you guys want me to. But pretty much that's what I see happening for GJ. What I anticipate happening, like I said, I anticipate price coming down to this support. This is going to be the 30-minute support, and this is the 4-hour support. So as it comes down there, I'm anticipating it to shoot on up. So until you get some confirmation, or if you have access to the K2 indicators, you know, that would give you, you know, some sort of catalyst as to, you know, what direction price is going to be moving. But if you don't, then you probably just wait for it to, you know, probably touch down here. Tabrea is asking, so does the K2 indicators come with the support resistance lines? Yeah, Tabrea. So what you're going to do is you're going to apply the K2SR indicator. So let's see, let me hide all this stuff. So if you do have the indicators, Tabrea, because I think I've granted you the access. So once you enable that indicator, the K2SR indicator, it'll plot all of the nearest support and resistance zones on the chart for you. So you can see right here, instead of drawing those boxes, you can just turn on the chart. So pretty much you can see right here that, you know, I just put a rectangle over it to make things easier to look at. But if you were to take these zones off, you can just hide the stuff that I've drawn, and you can see that they've been automatically plotted. So all you need to do is turn on the K2SR indicator, and then it'll plot all of the support resistance zones all over the chart for you. And these are going to be the strongest support resistance zones that have been tested. Depending on your settings, I have them set to 100 candles back. So pretty much I can see automatically, you know, where the strongest resistance and support lines are, depending as, you know, 100 candles back. So if you go back 100 candles, these are going to be the strongest zones. And these are going to be perfect for you if you're trading in a certain direction, because you can anticipate where price is likely to reject from. Because you can see right here, if you look closely, price came up right here, and then it came down and it rejected off this point. So once it rejected off this point, once you got a buy signal, you could have taken this buy signal right here and rode this thing all the way up. Similar again right here, you can see price rejected off here. It came up, rejected right here, came down, rejected. This wouldn't be a valid buy signal, but it kept bouncing around. But as soon as it rejected right here and you got a buy signal, you probably could have taken this and then, you know, held on to it until it came up here. I mean, there's a ton of ways to apply these strategies. You know, just depends on your preference on how you want to apply them. But pretty much that was GJ. So I'm going to go down the list for the next question. So I hope that answers your question, D. Thomas. If you want me to go over anything else, feel free to let me know, or, you know, drop another question in the Q&A. All right, so let's see. Nathan's scalp. Yeah, so I'll just show you guys a quick scalping strategy if you guys scalp or not, or if you guys want to scalp. It's real simple. So this is our US 30 trade from earlier. We hit 1,500 pips, but I'll show you guys the scalping strategy. I mean, there's a ton of different scalping strategies that I do apply. So there's, you know, we have the normal scalping strategy, and then we have the scalping strategy on the 30-minute, and then we have the scalping strategy on the 5-minute. So I'm going to show you guys the 5-minute because this is probably the easiest one to apply if you just want to hop in and start scalping. So pretty much I'll go on the 5-minute chart right here. And the strategy is pretty simple. So basically what you're doing with the strategy is, let me just rewind. This wouldn't be valid right here. So I'll just show you a quick example of the scalping strategy for the 5-minute. And if you guys do have access to the course, it's going to be this strategy right here. So pretty much the K² Trades Indices Scalping Strategy 5-minute time frame. So if you click on this, it has a detailed video right here explaining how to apply it. So I'm going to show you guys right here, quick demonstration. Pretty much all you're going to do is, let's see, is Curtis in here? This is Curtis' favorite strategy. Hit boy. No, he's not in here. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna go over it for you guys, just so I can show you guys real quick. This is gonna be the K² Indices 5-minute scalp strategy. Okay, so pretty much for this strategy, it's real simple. First, you're going to identify K2, a valid K2 signal. Similar to what I explained earlier, a valid K2 signal would be a buy signal with a bullish candle or a sell signal with a bearish candle. These are all valid right here. It's a valid buy, valid sell, valid buy, valid sell, valid buy. Not necessarily to buy, but it's just a valid signal. You're going to have to tie these with the other requirements. So first, you're going to identify a valid K2 signal. Next, you're going to identify previous swing high or low. 3, confirm strong bearish, bullish movement. And then what else? And then after that, you're going to for enter on open of following candle. And then just an extra requirement, place stop loss at previous swing. Trade 1-1 risk to reward. All right, cool. So right here, first we're going to identify a valid K2 signal. Right here we have a buy signal. And it's valid because it's a buy signal with a bullish candle. Next, you want to identify the previous swing low because we're going to be buying. So if you just look at the chart from a bird's eye view, you can see that price came up here. This was a swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low. So this is a low right here, obviously, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a zone for the swing low right here. So we have the first two requirements met. We identified a valid K2 signal, which is a buy signal right here. Next, you want to identify the previous swing low because we're taking a buy. So right here is a low, obviously. Next, you want to confirm a strong bullish movement because we're taking a buy. If we're taking a sell, you want to confirm a strong bearish movement, following the swing right here. So as you can see right here, price rejected off this low right here, and then we had a strong bullish movement. And this is a strong bullish movement because these are 3 very strong, green candles. This is going to be very subjective depending on, your experience on identifying candles and, price movement. But just to make things simple, you can see right here, this would be a strong bullish movement because there are 3 strong green candles. Right here would be a weak bearish movement because if they're small candles, even though they're all bearish, they're weak candles. Right here would be the opposite. Right here would be a strong bearish movement because there's back-to-back bearish candles right here, and they're big candles, so they're showing strong movement coming down. But like I said, this is going to be very subjective depending on your experience trading. But just for demonstrational purposes, we're going to say that this is a strong bullish movement right here. So we've confirmed 3 requirements. We've identified the valid K2 signal right here. We've identified the previous swing low right here, and we've confirmed a strong bullish movement. So once those 3 requirements are met, you're going to enter on the open of the following candle. So right here, we're going to enter a buy position right over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place our stop loss at the previous swing, and we're going to trade a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. So right here's the previous swing. You're going to put your stop loss right below it. It's going to be about, we're just going to round it to 900 pips. And then, like I said, a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. So put 900 pip profit right there. And then there we go. We have a valid entry right there. So let's let it run and see what happens. Profit target like that. So you can see how easy the strategy is. It's very simple. The real catalyst here is going to be the K2 signal, because you can see exactly where price is going to be moving, moving forward. So as you can see right here, you would have hit 900 pips in about 25 minutes. And if you're trading with a broker that values US 30 pips, $1 per pip, a broker such as AvaTrade, which a lot of our European traders use. So pretty much this would be a plus 900 pip win. And if you're trading with a broker that values US 30 pips, $1 per pip, that would equal a $900 profit in 25 minutes. And it's as easy as that, guys. It's super simple. Like, I don't know how much simpler it can get. We can even go back to, something over here. I can just show you guys a quick example right here. Like this wouldn't be a valid entry because Although we have a buy signal, we identified the swing low right here. There's no strong bullish movement prior to the swing. So even though this shot up, I wouldn't have taken this trade. Again, right here, we have a sell signal, and then we identified the swing high right here, but you can see from the swing, there's no strong bearish movement from there, even though this came down. I mean, if you wanted to be risky and you wanted to take it anyways, you could have, and you could have made a nice profit off that. Similar with right here. But the thing is, it doesn't fit the requirements, so I wouldn't take those trades. But I'll show you another good example right here. So let's see if we can find one. Another entry. Let's see. Okay, so this is a good one right here. So let me bring the requirements over here again. And yeah, I see the messages. So if you guys want to learn this, you guys can sign up to, the K² strategy. We do still have the trial going on. It's only $50. So, you can see that trade that I just showed you over here. You could have taken this trade in 25 minutes and, paid your K² subscription for like more than a year, basically. But let me go back to here. So if you guys are looking for that strategy, some people are asking, where can I find that? You can find it right over here. Once you have access to the K² course and the K² indicators, you just scroll down, and then this is going to be the K² trades intraday strategy. Sorry, not this one. The K² trade scalping strategy that works on all assets, but you're going to be using the K² trades indices scalping strategy on the 5-minute time frame. And you guys can make a ton of money off this. I'm sure if you guys are, if you guys were in the chat before, I used to scalp all day, and I used to make a lot just doing that. But it does take a toll on you, and I just don't want to be staring at the computer all day. So that's why I don't scalp anymore. I just take my daily US 30 trade. But I'll show you one quick example real quick, just so you guys can see a sell. So I'm going to rewind to this candle right here. So pretty much right here, it's same thing, same requirement. So pretty much you're going to identify a valid K² signal. Right here we have a valid sell signal. Next you're going to identify the previous swing high, because we're doing the opposite now. Now we're doing the sell. So the previous swing high would be right here. As you can see, price came down. It swung low right here, swung up right here. So this would be the high. So those first two requirements are met. Next, you want to confirm a strong bearish movement following the swing. So you can see right here, it swung up and then it came down. Although there was a green candle right here, it was a strong bearish candle. And then it was followed by two more strong bearish candles before we got the signal. So pretty much those three requirements have been met. We identified the K² signal, we identified the swing high, and then we confirmed a strong bearish movement. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter on the open of the following candle. Let's enter a sell position right here. Put our stop loss at the previous swing, which is right here. So it's going to be about, we'll just round that to 400 pips. I like using whole numbers, so you don't need to round the numbers up, but it just makes things a whole lot easier, so you don't have to use random numbers. And then pretty much we have everything set up. We let it run, and then obviously hit TP right there. So you can see how easy this is. You can be on your chart pretty much all day if you want to make a lot of money, and you could do this literally all day and make a killing just scalping US 30, because obviously it moves so fast that you can hit TP within a few minutes. So right here, if you entered this trade, you would have held this trade for 45 minutes, and then you would have made 400 pips. So similar to let's see. All right, so again right here, same valuation. If you're using a broker like AvaTrade that values US 30 $1 per pip, this would be plus 400 pip win. And then if it was $1 per pip, this would have been a $400 profit in 45 minutes. And it's as easy as that. So if you guys want to scalp, this is a great strategy if you're trying to scalp. You can see there's a ton of entries right here. We had another sell right here. I could just eyeball it, pretty much identify K² signal right here, valid sell, identify the swing high. Obviously right here, you can see from the swing high, there's three bearish candles that are pretty strong. You enter the sell right here. Could have taken that right there. You could have made $500 off this trade. And it's easy. It's as easy as that, guys. It's not very complicated, but it is risky, because if you're trading US 30, obviously this moves really fast, and things could go either way. But as you can see, the odds of it winning rather than losing are far superior. So even if you lose a trade, you would have won like 3 trades right here, and you would have made that back easily. But okay, guys, I'm done with this strategy. So let me go over the next one. Let's see what other question we got here. All right, so I've got another question from Brandon. He's asking gold. I have no idea which way it's going. So let's pull up gold real quick, guys. Go to this chart right here. So I got gold right there. All right, so let me zoom out real quick. I'm gonna go on the 4-hour. So I'll draw these zones right now so we can identify, where price is probably going to be rejecting from. So there's actually a big zone right here. I'm just gonna draw a big one right here. And then this is the 4-hour, so I'm gonna color this red like we had earlier. Yeah, actually, I wouldn't trade gold right now. You can see it's stuck in a zone. It's pretty much consolidating for the most part. So if I take the K2SR off, it's pretty much just stuck in this area. So until price breaks, out here, or if it comes back down here and it confirms, then it'll probably set the direction. But you can see that it's not really going anywhere, especially because it's NFP. It's probably just going to be sitting there and consolidating within these 2 zones. It's going to keep bouncing around until NFP tomorrow. And then once NFP happens, it's going to shoot in like one direction or the other. And then it's going to dictate the direction for, the following week. Let's see if so yeah, it's really hard to tell because you can see there's a ton of zones here. So even if it crosses this zone right here, there's another zone that's right above it. Let me go on the shorter time frames to see. I really don't like trading something when there's too many zones, because the problem with it being in the zones is that those are going to be easily manipulated areas, because the banks know where these zones are too. So the thing is, they know that you guys are looking for these areas and zones to enter if you guys are trading specific strategies where you guys are looking for rejection points. But let me I'll analyze it on the 1-hour and see if we see anything better. But on the 4-hour, it didn't really look like there was anything worth paying attention to. But let's see. Let's draw this down here. Oops. All right, so I have the 3 closest zones drawn right here. And I'm just gonna take this off the chart. And then let's close this. All right, so let me zoom out so you can see better. So right here, we do have a sell signal, but it looks like it pulled back up. So if we get a buy signal right here, we're probably going to see price push on upwards, and then it might reject off here, and then it might just consolidate through here until London happens. We are in Asia session, so as you know, this is a slow session, so it's probably not going to see very much movement until London, and then tomorrow morning when we have NFP, it's probably going to shoot like crazy. Oh yeah, CT said 1-hour works better for gold, and I agreed. It does look a lot cleaner. But yeah, CT said I wouldn't trade gold simply due to NFP. Me neither. Like, I'd stay away from gold right now. It's not really worth the risk, because the thing is, it could probably shoot one direction at any time, really, depending on where they want to move price. But let me take off the indicators. So it looks pretty clean right there. You can see the rejection points. It came up, it broke this zone, came down, consolidated, broke down here, rejection of this zone, consolidation. It's pretty much just bouncing from zone to zone. It looks like it's probably going to be coming up here. Let's see. So if we analyze this off this rejection, because it did reject off this point, you can see this rejection point right here. It came up, it broke, retest. If it confirms a bullish candle right here, it's probably going to shoot on up and then test this zone right here. So if you guys are looking to take this trade, which I don't recommend trading gold right now. But if you do want to take this trade, I'd look at a buy bias. So just follow the 1-hour candle. Make sure if this closes bullish, then I would take a buy. But personally, I wouldn't take it if I was trading it, just due to NFP. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Brandon. But if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, and then I'm gonna keep going down the list. Let's see. All right, Dijon wants me to check out EJ, so let me pull up EJ real quick. Sorry guys, I'm checking my all right, let's pull up EJ real quick. So I'm gonna go back to the 4 hour, and then we go to EJ. Let's run the indicators real quick. I think I already drew the, yeah, so I drew all of the closest support resistance areas on the 4 hour. This thing is shot way too high. I thought it was going to come down at this point because it shot up. I mean, it shot up like crazy high this whole week. I'm not sure if we took this trade during this week, but we might have. But let me go on the lower time frames because there's no zones that have been established over here yet. So I mean, there's not even any zones on the 30-minute either. Let's see. So it's literally out in the open with, you know, no support resistance. There's nothing that's been established because it's been pushing up for so long. You know, in situations like this, I would just avoid the trade because you never know when it's going to come down. But if you were, you know, if you were applying the K² strategy, you know, the intraday strategy that I just went over earlier, pretty much, you know, you guys could have made a killing off this because if you caught this right here, so if I rewind this, and then you guys were applying the K² strategy, pretty much the intraday strategy, like I explained earlier, you just want to identify the K² signal. Right here, we have a valid buy signal. Next, you want to just make sure that the trend meter matches, so they're both green. So if you did see this and you're applying the K² strategy, you would have entered a buy right over here. I put the stop loss at the swing down there, about 86 pips, just rounding it. And then pretty much, if you rode that, you would have, you know, hit TP in about, you know, 2 hours for 86 pips. But just looking at it now, it's pretty much in consolidation. It's, you know, it made that big move. So if you guys did catch that move, you guys would have made a pretty nice profit off that. I mean, literally, you could have applied the K² strategy since May 28th. So you can see here, and this went on for a long time. So literally, if you caught these trades from the beginning, you could have had nonstop wins right here for 100 pips. If you're applying the K² strategy, this isn't a valid entry. This is a valid entry right here. Another 100 pips. Literally, if you just trade EJ since the 28th and you took every K² entry, geez, a lot of pips right here, guys. These are all pretty much winners right here. And it's easy. You just match the colors. If it's green and green, you take a buy, and then you just collect your profits. And but you guys get the point. So pretty much, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You could have locked in, you know, 1,000 to 2,000 pips just trading EJ, you know, within a short time period. But currently, right now, it's just in consolidation. You can see right here that there's not really much movement. CT said, "What's up with SGD?" Yeah, I'm still in it. I'm just hanging on for dear life right now, hoping that it comes back. But let's see. So EJ for the past let's see, 7 hours, maybe 6 to 8 hours, it's only moved about 30 pips. And you know, if you look at EJ, how it normally moves, it moves like 100 pips, like, you know, 50 to 100 pips. It doesn't usually just stay in one area. You can see right here, 50 pips. So it's pretty much in consolidation. I wouldn't trade this right now. Just like CT said, you know, it's NFP week. So obviously all the pairs are pretty much going to consolidate until NFP. And then, you know, once NFP happens, it's going to, you know, break out in one direction or the other. It's going to set the direction for the rest of the week, the rest of the following week. So I would just stay away from EJ right now. It doesn't look like it's worth taking. You know, this is on the lower time frame too. If you go on the higher time frame, there's even less movement. So we had that, you know, we had that nice gap up, like we went over earlier on the 30-minute from, let's see, from pretty much 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. But then ever since then, it just hasn't moved at all. So I would just leave EJ alone. It doesn't look like something that I would take. So I'll just, let me delete these. Actually, I'll leave it on just in case someone wants to ask about it later. So we've looked at EJ. We'll take a look at NJ now. Shawn wants us to take a look at NJ. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same analysis, pretty much for all the JPY pairs. Same exact thing. So same entry here. I mean, if you guys were trading NJ with the K² intraday strategy, let's see, on the 30-minute, you guys literally could have just taken every buy signal and you guys could have been good. You know, a winner right here, winner right here, winner right here. This would have consolidated. So you would have hung on to this for a long time, but you eventually would have won. So you have held on to this for actually not that long, for about a day, and then you would have probably won, you know, 50 to whatever pips. Dejan's going to be mad because he has it open. Yeah, all of the JPY pairs, it looks like they're just, none of them are moving. And it's mostly due to NFP because, you know, NFP, the JPY pairs are going to be hugely impacted because, you know, they're releasing the US unemployment data. So obviously if the unemployment data is bad, then, you know, the yen's going to be strong if, you know, if we're following, you know, basic fundamentals. So this might drop actually. So if the news is bad, well, the thing is now that, you know, the stay-home orders are being lifted and some people are, you know, going back to work and some people are finding jobs and whatever because businesses are hiring again, then the data might be good and it might continue on up if, you know, the money doesn't go into the safe haven currencies like the yen. However, you know, fundamentals haven't been following how they've normally been moving during COVID. So the thing is, even if the data is good or bad, you know, and people decide to put their money in the yen since it's a safe haven currency, you know, if you come straight down, if the yen gains power. But, you know, we can't really predict that because we won't really know until we see how people react to the unemployment data. So let's see, CT said risk off potential, so JPY may rise if really bad news comes out. That's what I'm thinking too. You know, just because, you know, it's a traditional safe haven currency. So if the unemployment data is really bad, then, you know, we could see JPY reverse and come straight down. So, Dejan, are you in a buy or a sell? Or Zeke, do you know if he's in a buy or a sell? Hopefully he's not in a buy.
He was in a buy last time I checked.
He's in a buy. I mean, I would have been in a buy too, but during NFP I wouldn't be in a buy because obviously he is in a buy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he bought a while ago. He should be in profit by now, so he should have.
If you're in profit, Dejan, then just move your stop loss in profit, and you should be cool. Oh, he's deep in profit. Then you're cool. Yeah. If that's the case, just move your stop loss in profit, and then, you know, whatever happens happens. But as long as you close out in profit, you know, that's all that really matters. So there goes NJ for you. Pretty much same analysis as EJ. Next, we're gonna go over EU and GU. Yeah, I think those are probably moving in the same direction too. So we'll look at EU real quick, and then we could probably, you know, that'll probably be the same analysis for GU as well. So we'll go to EU. Same situation here. You know, US dollar is pretty weak today. So let's see. So I'm looking at my USD SG. I'm still in negative too, but, you know, it's been in this price point for like the entire day. So I'm not too worried. If it does correct back, then good for us. But otherwise, it's just been in the same situation that it's been, you know, since this morning. But yeah, looking at EU, it's the same situation that was happening with GJ and EJ. It's in consolidation right now, obviously because NFP and, you know, the US dollar is going to be highly impacted by NFP because it's high impact US news. So it's pretty much going to consolidate. I'm assuming until, you know, NFP comes out. It might pick up a little bit during London. But similar to EJ, if you took all of the K2 buy signals, and you guys could have made a killing off EU, so you could have taken it all the way from down here, I don't know if that's what Dejan did, but if he did, man, good for you. I wish I was looking at a 30-minute chart, because you could have been taking every single valid K2 buy entry from the 26th of May, and you guys could have made a killing off this. So if you took this trade from down here, geez, that's like 300 pips. And the thing is, if you're taking every signal, you'd have multiple positions. You'd have one right here, and if you take a long position right here, you know, about 67 pips. So pretty much the average is 67 pip movement. So 67 pips here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is invalid. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so about 12. So if you took all of the valid K2 entries, you know, 67 pips times 12, you could have made 804 pips. That's amazing for just one pair. And if you did this for, you know, EU and GU and EJ and GJ and pretty much whatever else was trending during the time, you could have made a killing just, you know, within the last week. But yeah, Dejan, this is what I see for EU. It's the same exact thing. There's you know, there's no support nearby. There's no resistance nearby. So it's pretty much an open field. So the problem with that is, you know, since there's no support, we can't really predict where it would stop at if it was to come down. If it was to go up, we're not sure where it would stop at either, because there's no resistance nearby. See, this could come down way down here and then reject off, or it can, you know, keep on going on up. So let's go on the higher time frames just to see if there's any support resistance nearby. On the 1 hour, there's no nearby support resistance. 4 hour, you know, and this is pretty shocking because even though we're on the 4 hour chart, like I said, I have my data set to 100 candles back. So pretty much, let me see if I can do the math here. Aaron, do you know how many minutes are in? I think it's 240, right? 240 minutes times 100. So divided by 24. So this goes back, what, 1,000 days? I don't know if my math's right, but yeah, if it goes back 100 4-hour candles, this might go back 1,000 days. And there, you know, going back that far and there's no support resistance that's been established, you know, it's reached new highs here. So the problem with that, or actually there was a high up here, but it doesn't look like there was any. Yeah, there's nothing that's been established since then. So it might have reached a high right here. I'll just draw this out right here. See how this looks. Yeah, so that'd be a strong double top if it would be considered double top. But the thing with that is, we, you know, we don't have real catalysts giving us, you know, direction. If price was to break up above this, which is, it's pretty high, let's say. Megan, I see your question. Megan, put it in the Q&A. I'm going down the Q&A list. So if you put it down there, I'll get to your question once I get down to it. We have about 15 questions left. So once I get down to those questions, just drop in the Q&A and I'll get to yours as well. CT said EU 600 bars on the daily. See, I'm going to pull up CT's chart. So this is CT's chart right here. Let's see. I see what you're saying. Yeah, 600 bars. Yeah, so there's not really, I mean, there's nothing that's been established nearby. So it could literally go up and, you know, test the area up there, or it could test the area down here. But it's still got a long way until it reaches this resistance area. Oh, in the middle. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I'll go back to my chart. I mean, personally, I wouldn't trade this. Is Dejan in this trade too, Rizzy? Do you know? I'm sure he probably is. If he is, then you know, if he's in profit already, I would just move your stop loss and profit, because it's, you know, this could happen tomorrow morning when NFP, since it's at a strong resistance point right here, you know, you can come shooting down to come back and correct down here. This is a strong bullish move. You know, generally, you know, what comes up must come down at some point, especially in the Forex markets. Since the Forex markets generally a ranging market. You know, you can see right here, price just ranges within the zones over here. But yeah, Dejan, if you're in a buy, I think you might have hit the top right here. So I just move your stop loss and profit if you could. So let me I mean, these have been pushing up for so long. It's not something that I would. Well, I mean, if you got in way down here, then yeah, of course, you know, it's cool. But if you, I wouldn't enter anywhere around here, especially once you see a strong bullish candle like this. Usually, when it has a big movement like that, you know, it's bound to retrace at some point, or you know, fill the gap at yeah, exactly. Because it has to come down at some point. It looks like GU actually looks a little better than EU. So I already have the nearest support set up here. We have the overall trend is going upwards. So let's see, for GU, you can see here that price came up, it came down, retested the support, and then confirmed the bullish movement. So Dejan, if you're in this trade, I think you should be good because, you know, just zooming out, it's a clear break and retest right here. So it broke, retested, and then it shot on up. So it's probably going to keep on going up right here. I'm going to the lower time frame to see if there's a. So there's a valid buy signal right here. Oh shit! Whoops. Okay, there we go. Delete this. All right, yeah. So pretty much right here, John, if you took, I'm not sure if you took one of these, you know, valid buy signals, but if you took, same situation with the other pairs. If you took every buy signal for GU, you can make a lot of profit off just trading this too, because all of these buy signals pretty much would have hit full TP if you took, you know, any of these buy signals right here. But again, if you were taking this buy signal right here, and if this is where your entry was, this would be a valid buy right here. So pretty much this would be a valid buy because it would fall within the K² intraday strategy. So right here we have a buy signal, which is green, and then it matches the trend meter. So this provides for a valid buy entry. So you can see it shot up from right here, and it only shot up about 10 pips. So it came down, retraced, and then it's probably going to continue on up. But just like we mentioned earlier, it's still NFP week, so consolidation is, you know, it's probably going to consolidate for a while in this zone until London or until NFP tomorrow. Let's see how many pips has it moved within the last. I mean, it's a decent movement. It's not a lot, but it's, you know, 21 pips, which is it's all right. But you know, you'd expect GU to be moving a lot because it's a major pair. So you can see normal movement over here. It's going to be like 60 pips, even right here, you know, 50, 60 pips. Again, over here, if you count this, another 50, 60 pips. So you can see the huge difference when, you know, price is moving normally as to how it's moving right now. Right now, it's moving really slow. So let's see. See, even if you caught it from this low right here, even if you caught it from this low when Asia opened, it's only moved it's moved less than 30 pips. You know, normally it moves at least 50 or 60 pips. So pretty much, let's see what CC said. CC said because of manipulation, they can use NFP to deliver price wherever they want. May not make technical sense. Yeah, exactly. No, that's pretty much what I was saying before too. Like, you know, literally when NFP happens, this can shoot up heavy or it can shoot down heavy to pretty much set the you know, the direction for the next week and, you know, maybe for the rest of the month. So personally, I wouldn't want to be in any trades right now. You know, we are in USD SGD, but it is an exotic, so it isn't, you know, it's going to get manipulated because it's paired with the US, obviously, but it's not going to be as manipulated as something like GU. Like this is like, generally, I don't really like to trade major pairs because generally those are manipulated the most. Like a lot of people think those are the safest, but in reality, these are like the most manipulated ones because the big banks know that everyone's trading these pairs. So, you know, it's a breeding ground for manipulation. That's why I prefer to trade, you know, crosses that are not as popular or exotics in some cases if, you know, if there's a valid entry with those. So I'd be careful with GU if you're in this, Dejan. Even though it looks like it's coming up, like it looks fine, like it's coming up, but the thing is, you know, if we don't draw, like if we don't have valid entry there and it's just going to consolidate sideways, it gives it a lot of room for it to move if it wants to break out this way. It's about 60 pips. So if it was to shoot down to test this support, you know, it's a 60 pip drop if you're in buy. If you're in a buy, it could go however far it wants to go because, you know, there hasn't been a resistance established, you know, on the 4 hours. So if I go to the day, 8 hour, actually it's in a resistance point right now. So if you go on the higher time frame, like the 8 hour, it's actually in a resistance point. So let me drop these lines. So if we drop these lines right here, it's actually stuck in a zone. So if this closes below, this candle closed in about 4 hours. So if this candle closes below this box, it could come down and retest the support. So if that's the situation that happens, you know, that's a 70 pip drop. However, if it does push on further up, you know, you've got some cushion right here for about, you know, 48 pips, but if it breaks above it, then it could keep shooting on up. So if you're not in this trade, then I wouldn't enter this trade right now. You know, just due to NFP because, you know, anything can really happen from now until tomorrow morning. See, CT said daily dollar at huge imbalance area and dollar should be sitting. I'm gonna pull up this chart real quick. It says your link is invalid, CT. I don't know if oh, you know what? It's because you have this extra. Delete that. Oh, you never mind. I see. You double pasted it. Okay, got it. So this is CT's chart right here. So this is the dollar index, DXY. Yeah, he's right. It looks like there's a huge imbalance right here. So it might reject. If it rejects off this, you know, this point and it shoots on up, then GU might come down. So this actually lines up really well with the analysis where this might come shooting down. But who knows? You know, like that's what we see. But you know, who knows if that's actually gonna play out? It might play out. It looks like a good, you know, if you're tying one and one together, you know, this gives you confirmation that, you know, it's in a zone as well. So the thing is, if this shoots on up, DXY is a dollar index, which shows the strength of the dollar. So pretty much, you know, DXY is going to be shooting up. Then if you pair that with GU, generally, if GU is coming down, that means that the US dollar is gaining in strength. If GU is moving up, that means that the GBP is moving in strength while the US dollar is losing in strength. So this is a question I get a lot from people. Like they always ask me, you know, how do you determine what this means? So if price is moving up, the way I see it is I see it as a seesaw. So let me show you guys. You know, this pretty much is going to be a decent. So what I do is I put a line below right here. So this is what I see. So if price is going up, this means that GBP is gaining in strength. If price is going down, you just put it the opposite way. USD is gaining in strength. So this is a, you know, a common question that people have. They don't understand, you know, what it means when price is going up and down. If price is going down, then the second currency is gaining strength. If price is going up, then the first currency is gaining in strength, GBP. So this is, you know, a quick little shortcut for you guys if you guys don't understand, you know, how price is moving. And like CT had, he's following the dollar index. So if you follow the dollar index, you can see exactly what direction price is moving for that specific currency if you want to, you know, have extra confirmation. But yeah, that's just, you know, a quick little tip for you guys if you guys don't understand, you know, how to read pairs. So this is an overlay for CT. So what CT did here is he had GU open, and then he had the dollar index plotted on the chart. So you can see the strength of the dollar. So you can see right here, DXY is starting to come up. So if it's coming up, this is going to come down, because the thing is they move in opposite directions. So you can see right here it was coming down, and as it was coming down, this was going up. So this might be a lot for you guys to take in if you guys aren't familiar with, you know, correlating pairs and, you know, the strength of different pairs compared to, you know, their index. But you can look up indexes for pretty much any currency. So I'll put on my chart what CT had. So in order to do that, you're just gonna let me delete these because we already our G already hit TP. We had this trade open earlier and we hit full profit already. But pretty much if you want to add the index on your chart, you just hit compare up here. And then the symbol for the dollar index is DXY, or yeah, DXY. So this is the dollar index. And then that's pretty much how he was able to determine, you know, what direction the dollar is moving. So if these cross right here, actually this is a really, it actually looks really good on the 8 hour. On the 4 hour. It's kind of messy right here, but on the 8 hour, this looks actually really good. So you can see if this moves on up, the dollar index, then this has got to come down because they come opposite directions. So, you know, this could easily happen right here, especially if this is coming on upwards. But this might be too complex for, you know, some people that are new traders. You don't really have to know this. This just gives you extra confirmation. You know, if you're curious as to, you know, the strength of each currency. You know, if you want to look at DXY, you can put, I mean, the dollar index is DXY. The index for GBP, I think it's GX. Oh, there we go. It's DXY. So, you know, we have the index also for the pound. It pretty much just follows the pound. But yeah, there goes, you know, the analysis for GU. So Shawn, if you're in this trade, you know, just move your stop loss and profit in case it comes down. You know, otherwise you can pretty much just ride it until it comes back down and, you know, stop you on profit. So let me see. I'm going to go down to the next question. Next question's from Emmanuel. He's saying, hey, Shawn, what's a good amount to start trading with in order to make about 300 to 500 per month? So if you look at our results, let me see, sorry. I'm going to pull up the chat here. All right, so I'm looking at, just gonna look at the results real quick. So Emmanuel wants to make $300 to $500 a month. So I'm gonna go down to, you know, our full-on results for the year. These are results for the week. You know, we're doing pretty good. We're up. How far up are we?
10,000 pips, something like that.
Yeah, we're up a lot for just this week. You know, we had an amazing week. So if you guys were, you know, in premium, you would have taken all of these trades right here. We're up 19 wins for over 1,500 pips. So if you took every trade that I shared this week, if you were trading standard lot, you'd be at 15,000. If you were trading, you know, a 0.10, you'd be up 1,500. You know, if you're trading the bare minimum, 0.01, you'd still be up $153. That would cover your subscription for, you know, a couple months or a couple years. If you were trading a standard lot, you would have covered your K2 subscription for 15 years probably. And you know, and that would have just compounded and multiplied your account, and you would just keep making more money. But let me go up to the results from last, let's see. All right, cool. So right here, you can see each month, you know, these are the pips that we've pretty much profited. So right here, it's about 1,700 pips, 500 pips, 3,000 pips. So, you know, if I was to average these out per month, so we'll just round them up. So 1,795 plus 500 plus 3,125 plus 1,481. So that's a total of 6,901 pips, and we divide that by 4 months. So on average, we're averaging about 1,700 pips a month. So 1,700 pips, and then if you're trading a let's see, Emmanuel, do you have like a specific like account size? Because if you have a specific account size, that you have in mind that you want to trade with, we can do the math and I can show you how much you can make, you know, just copying my trades. So say if you're only trading a micro lot, 0.01, and then what you would do is you just multiply our average pips by 10 cents because each pip is going to be worth 10 cents. And then you make 170. So pretty much if you had a $100 account, you would have doubled that account every month. Let me see. Emmanuel said, okay, so Emmanuel has, he wants to use a $1,000 account as an example. So pretty much, like I said, you know, on average, we're averaging probably 1,700 pips. You know, some months will be a lot better than others, but this is just going to be the average. And if you were trading a $1,000 account, you're going to be trading a 0.10 mini lot per trade. So pretty much that would be $1 per pip. So if you're trading with a $1,000 account, you could anticipate making 1,700 every month. So that goes way above your, you know, above your goal. Your goal is only $300 to $500 a month. So, you know, this would be, you know, the reality of how much you can make if you're trading a $1,000 account. So, you know, in reality, you could have been trading with a smaller amount. So 1,700 pips, and if you're trading, say, a $500 account, so instead of trading a 0.10, you'd be trading a 0.05. So in that situation, you know, each pip would be worth 50 cents instead of $1, and then you'd still be making $850 a month, you know, on average. So literally, you don't need that much money to make 300, 500 a month. People that were trading, let's see, people who just took our trades this week. Let's see where we're at. So just this week, you know, we're up 1,500 pips. So if you're trading a 0.01 with a $1,000 account, you would have made, you know, $1,535 just this week. You would have hit your goal times 4 or times 3 easily. So I mean, it really depends on the month and, you know, market conditions at the time. But you know, this just gives you like an example as, you know, what you can achieve. You know, just copying my trades, or, you know, if you use the strategy yourself, obviously your possibilities of, you know, growing your accounts can be a lot higher because you can trade throughout the day. Like I said, I only trade during the 4-hour chart, so you know, I'm not catching every single trade. But if you traded on the 30-minute, you could have caught way more than I posted throughout the day. It's 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna scan the charts real quick, guys. So just give me a second. I'm gonna see if there's any trades to post right now because you know, this is probably gonna be the last time I post trades for this week due to NFP. So let me just scan real quick. Aaron, have you seen anything? Aaron, you here?
Let me right.
Yeah. We have this right here. What do you think of AN?
Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Growth turn zone.
Yeah. So right here.
That's probably the only one, to be honest.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to keep stop loss tight though. Let's see, 90 pips. Private stop loss 68 pips. Guys, so this is pretty much how I identify trades. Going through here, so let's see. I'm using the K2 zone trading strategy. So if you guys have access to the K2 indicators and the K2 strategy, the strategy that I'm using is going to be found right here, K2 SR zone trading strategy. So if you want to trade exactly how I am, you know, you just look at the videos there. You guys have the indicators, and you can trade exactly how I do. So this is pretty much the only entry that I really see right now. Aaron, what do you think? Should call it or what?
You should call it. Looks pretty good. No news.
All right, cool. So we'll let me call this real quick, guys. 68 pips. I'm gonna enter it myself too, guys. So, and this is my smaller account, so I'm not really risking too much. I think there's like 6,000 in this account. It's a small account, so 3% risk. So this is why you guys can trust my trades. You know, all the trades that I'm calling, I'm actually taking them. These are, you know, I'm not just giving you guys random trades to take. Like I have skin in the game. So if I post these trades, I want these trades to win. I'm not just posting them just because. you know, and it shows you right here. This is a live account. You can see down here. You know, like I said, it's about a $6,000 account, and this is my account. It says my name right there, not demo. So you guys can trust my trades, and you know, obviously the profits that I've been posting are, you know, real profits. But let me post this to our premium group. If you guys are in premium, you guys will have, you know, the parameters. Let's see. This is Excel. I'm just gonna copy a template because I don't want to go in and what, there's nothing here. The last time I posted a trade. All right, there we go. Same thing. Odd NZD from yesterday. Yeah, I'll give you guys parameters here since you guys are in the webinar. I'll just share with you guys. So I'll have you. I'll put these together first, and then so this is the entry. Stop loss right there. It's gonna be 68 pips. So this is pretty much how I come up with signals, guys. It's real simple. Like, you know, there's no secret behind it. If you learn the K2 strategies that I teach, you can trade exactly how I do. Like, there's no secret behind it. You know, I give you guys all the tools, all of the knowledge that you guys need. Yeah, guys, if you take this trade, it's right there. So this trade is going to be a sell for odd NZD. There's the entry point, 1.07252. Right here we have target 1.06912. Actually, I'll just share it in the public, guys, and then you guys can copy it there because I need to look for other trades before, you know, we miss out on these. So I'll leave that there for now. I'll just mark this right here. I sent it in the public. If you guys are in premium, you know, obviously you guys are used to these signals. Let's see.
All right, Shawn.
Yeah, what's up, Aaron?
Yeah, my bad. My computer had lagged out.
We did have a valid buy entry right here for EA, but I didn't take it because I mean, it just was in consolidation, and I don't think it's going to move very much until, you know, something happens. EJ, delete all this stuff.
Yeah, not too many trades available right now.
You see anything else?
Not really.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh wait. Oh no, that wasn't a valid signal. Let me just close this stuff. Yeah, nothing there for GJ, GN, nothing. Yeah, I think that looks like about it. I don't see any entries here. You know, I apply the strategy every day, guys, so I can literally just look at the chart and I can know if there's, you know, an entry or not. So I'm not seeing any entries for any of these pairs. Yeah, the only pair that I seen it, we had this entry right here. I didn't call it, unfortunately. You know, this would have been a great trade for UJ. Yeah, for 62 pips, it would have hit TP1 at some point, and you know, it's on its way to full TP. Our USD SGD trade. I analyzed this earlier. I think there's some people ask questions here. Let's see. Okay, I don't think anyone's really asked for. I think the only person that asked USD SGD was CT. So pretty much CT. Yeah, this is my analysis for USD SGD. You know, the way that I see it here, I see a lot of bottom wicks from these bearish candles. So what I'm anticipating is that, you know, it's losing momentum right here. So as it gets closer to the support, you know, once it rejects off it again down here at some point, I anticipate it to shoot on up, and that's why I'm hanging on to it. And as you can see, you know, the bullish candle, I mean, the bearish candles are getting smaller and smaller, and the wicks are getting, you know, stronger and stronger as well. You know, kind of similar to what happened here as it was coming down. The wicks started getting longer and longer, and you saw the weakness right here as it rejected, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it shot on up. So that's basically what I see happening here too. You know, if you look at this, how I analyzed it when we first took this trade, you know, it looked like it was going to reject off perfectly because it came down, rejected off the support 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we had a bullish candle. So I was anticipating it to shoot on up to the next zone. You know, unfortunately, I don't know what happened right here. You know, it might have been due to news, or I don't know what's going on in the morning, but you know, I woke up and I was like, man, what happened to this trade? So you can see during London it pushed down. So I'm just gonna let it run. I'm gonna let it play out. You know, we're already in this trade we're in this trade too deep, so I'm not gonna pull out because I still do think it's gonna shoot on up. So I'll just give it some time, and you know, hopefully it bounces back soon. Yeah, there's our AutoMZD trade that I just shared. Looks pretty good. I'm just gonna set the alerts real quick, guys, before I keep going down through the questions. Looks like we have 30 questions. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, and I'll get to them as soon as I'm done with this. This is pretty much how I set my alerts, guys. So, you know, I set up the trade like that, and then I'll just set up alerts at each point so that when it reaches, you know, TP1 or stop loss or whatever, I'll know. So right here, I'll put AutoMZD TP1 hit because I want to know when price reaches TP1. You know, also I want to know when the stop loss hits, so I'm gonna set an alert for that. And this is mostly just to let you guys know. Like you guys see when I give you know, updates on our positions, it's usually you know, once these areas get hit over here. So you know, once I get an alert from something hitting, you know, either TP or stop loss, I'll give you guys an update, tell you guys, you know, what happened with that trade. So AutoMZD, full TP. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how I set up a trade. You know, how I call a signal. You guys have seen how I call signals. And it's real simple. If you guys just learn the K² strategy, there's nothing different that I do. I do everything exactly how it's taught. So if you guys learn how to trade, you know, the strategies that I have, you guys can do exactly what I do. And it looks nice. It looks like it's coming back down. I did have to pay that spread of like 5 pips. So, you know, obviously I'm going to start off with some drawdown. But I do see it coming back down. We just got to give it some time. All right, guys. So I'm going to go down the list again. I'm going to continue on further. Okay, so Lucas is asking for step 3, entering at the following candle. That would depend on what time duration you have your chart on. Yeah, Lucas. So pretty much, if I go back to, you know, one of the strategies that we were discussing earlier. So if we were trading on the 30-minute, you would obviously enter, you know, the trade on the where the entry was established. So right here, you know, if you're looking at this trade on the 30-minute, and then you saw that, you know, there's a valid entry right here, you would place your, you know, your entry on the open of that candle. So if you're trading on the 30-minute, you would place your entry on there. You know, obviously if you're trading on the 1 hour, you know, same difference. If you got a valid entry somewhere, like let's see if I can find it here. So pretty much like something like this right here. So if you got a valid entry right here where it was a buy signal and it matched the trend meter, they're both green. You know, you would enter on the open of that specific chart that you were looking at. So yeah, pretty much, yeah. Quick answer to your question is yeah. If you're gonna be analyzing a chart on a specific time frame, then you're gonna want to enter on the open of the falling candle with regard to that specific time frame. Let's see. James said, "Please record this for me and send it to me, please." Yeah, James. It's gonna be on YouTube. So once we're done with this, you know, I'll send you the link, and then you can watch this later. I know you're probably driving right now, so you should probably be safe and, you know, don't pay attention to this right now. Just pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, let's see. Emmanuel said using the system. Yeah, I think this is just a follow-up question to your previous question with the profit potential. Ruben said, can you show exactly how you set your watch list and alerts when scouting the markets out? Ruben, so pretty much since I trade on the 4-hour chart, I don't really set alerts anymore. So what I do is I know exactly when the candle closes. So pretty much my time, let me just close this stuff here. So I trade on the 4-hour chart only currently because I'm using the K²SR strategy. And pretty much I know exactly when the 4-hour candle closes. So according to my time, the 4-hour candle closes at 2 a.m., 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. So pretty much what I do is I don't really set an alert. I just wait for these times to come. So like right now, I looked up this entry right here because it was 6 p.m. my time. So once it hit 6 p.m., I just pull up charts one by one. I have my watch list set up right here. And if you guys are, you guys can be a free member. You guys don't have to be a premium member to have access to my watch list. If you're part of the K2 intro course, when you go here to the getting started tab, you'll see K2 watch list right here. You just click on this. And then as it opens, it has my entire watch list plotted right here. So what you can do is you can just copy, my entire watch list. So you can just go down the entire list that I go down. But to make things easier, you can just download my watch list right here. So once you click this right here, it'll download my watch list. And then once you download it, you can just go here to watch list and then click export. Oh, sorry, not export. You'll hit import. Sorry about that. So you hit import, and then obviously it'll open up right here. It's loading, and then once it opens up like right here, then you can go ahead and you can select the watch list that I have set up on the course right here, this text, and then it'll populate my watch list on your trading view. So that's pretty much how I set up my watch list. And then if you have access to the course, which I'm pretty sure you do, you can just go to the course and then you can download my watch list there, or you can just copy it from the list. It's really up to whichever is easier for you. And then yeah, so pretty much once any of these times hit, I'll just look down each chart. I mean each pair, I'll chart up each pair, and then I'll see if there's any entries using whatever strategy that you plan on using. For me right now, I'm just using the K2SR strategy because price was super choppy for the past 2-3 months. But if you're applying the intraday strategy, so like I said earlier, we have a ton of different strategies here. So I think Ruben was referring to the intraday strategy because before that was a strategy that I was using pretty much the whole time. So if you're using that strategy, it's going to have an explanation here how to apply that strategy. But if we're trading that strategy, then pretty much I'll go on the 30-minute chart, and then if I want to set up my alerts, I'll click alert up here. I'll drop the condition down to K2TS. I'll set my alert right here to K2 signal fired, so I get both buy and sell signals. Generally, I don't like to get too many alerts because I have so many pairs to follow. I have about 24 Forex pairs, and then about like 10 indices and commodities. So what I do is I set it to once for bar close, and then I'll set whatever alert message I want. So since I'm looking at AUD USD, I'll just type in like AUD USD 30-minute K2 signal fired, and then pretty much once I create this alert, every time I get a signal, buy or sell signal, then I'll get an alert. And then once I get that alert, I'll just pull up the chart, and then if it matches, so say if I'm applying the intraday strategy, if it matches like it does right here, see if I get a buy signal and I get an alert, it says that there's a signal fired, and these two line up, then I would just enter a buy position right there, right then and there. And that's pretty much how I would set it up if I was trading the intraday strategy. But currently, I'm not trading the intraday strategy. So, I don't really set alerts up because on the 4-hour chart, you don't really have to set alerts because you could just check the chart at those specific times when when the candle closes. So like I said right here, 2 a.m., 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. Pretty much whenever those times hit, I'll just pull up each chart, and then I'll see if there's a valid entry. And then that's pretty much how I look up trades right now. So let's see. That's about it for that question. There's an anonymous attendee. He's asking, what time frame do you use? So like I said earlier, I only trade on the 4-hour right now. Usually I used to trade on the 30-minute if I was using the intraday strategy. But currently, just due to the current market conditions, I just trade on the 4-hour. It just makes things a lot easier too, because now I'm able to, have a specific time that I'm going to be posting signals, and when I look at the chart. This way, I only have to look at the chart at these times. And I'm asleep during 2 a.m., so this is when Aaron's posting signals. But pretty much I wake up at 5:30. I look at the chart real quick at 6. If there's any entries, I'll call trades, and then I'll go on with my day. 10 o'clock, I'll check again. If there's any entries, I'll share the entries, go on with my day. 2 p.m., this is the swap spread, so I actually don't look for trades during this time. I look for trades an hour after. So at 3 p.m., I'll look for trades. Usually there's no trades because we just come back from the Razik said, hold up, Aaron posts signals. Aaron, you here? Oh man, Aaron's not even.
Hey, I'm here. I hear him. Hey, don't start. I'm being nice.
But yeah, pretty much. So yeah, 2 a.m. would be Aaron, but I don't know if you guys see any 2 a.m. signals, except Aaron's GU signal that was fire. That hit TP, so that was good. One signal a year.
Hey,
Yeah,
Shawn, don't start.
I don't think anyone even took that signal because they were like, "Why does the chart look like that?" Razik said, "Aaron, nobody knew you called GU."
Hey, because y'all don't believe me, that's why. Hey, y'all know better next time.
Yeah, no, that was a fire trade though. That trade hit full TP. But yeah, pretty much I only look at the chart, at 6 a.m. I'll go on with my day, looking at 10 a.m. and then again at 3 p.m. once the swap spread ends, and then 6 p.m. like I just did right now, and then again at 10 p.m. and then I'm pretty much, I'm offline by 11. But yeah, this makes things a whole lot easier. So if you want to learn that strategy, it's real simple. You just go down to K2SR zone trading strategy, and then learn it there. I go into this video a lot more in detail compared to other videos. So you can see right here, this video is 16 minutes compared to, the intraday strategy. The first strategy was more complicated, so it's a little longer. But if you look at the new, the version 3, it's only about 2 minutes. So you can watch this in 2 minutes and you can learn how to trade exactly how I do. Tamara said she took it. All right, cool. So she took it. She believed in Aaron. But that was a good trade. But yeah, let me keep going down the questions real quick. So yeah, short answer to your question, I trade on the 4-hour right now. That's pretty much all I look at. So that's been answered. Let's see. Emmanuel's asking, which SR indicator should we have on the chart? K2SR V2 or K2SR 100? So right now, well, what I do recommend is to use, obviously, the new K2SR indicator, which would be K2SR V2. Let me see if I can open a chart that I haven't marked up so I can show you guys. If you guys aren't familiar with the K2SR indicators, pretty much what they do is they automatically plot the support resistance zones on the chart for you. So this is the original K2SR. All it did was it plotted the closest support resistance. So you can see right here, this red line would be resistance and this green line would be support. And what it does is it automatically adjusts as price moves. So as you can see here, price is moving throughout the chart, and as it moves, the green line moves. So whenever price reaches a certain area, the support will adjust for you, so you know exactly where price is going to be rejecting from. Same with the resistance. If price reaches the resistance, you can see resistance move right there. It was down here earlier. Back up. See, resistance was down here, and as price moved closer to the resistance, it established the new resistance up here. So this is the old support resistance. This is a lot cleaner because it just shows you, the main points from the current price. However, you want to know where more zones are. You don't want to just know, where one zone is. You want to see where all the zones are, so you can see exactly where price is going to be rejecting from. So, this helps and it looks nice on the chart, but it's not going to help you if you're not going to be able to see where the other support resistance areas are. Although it does help. So you can, like, if you're trading break and retest strategies, this will be like a gold mine for you, because you can see when price breaks the resistance, comes down, retests it, and then shoots on up. You can take a buy and then pretty much ride that all the way up. And then, so this is the SR, the first SR indicator. I'll show you guys the version 2 now. And the version 2 is way better. I recommend you use version 2. I know it gets kind of messy, and that's why what I do is I'll see where the zones are, and then I'll just draw my own zones over it like this. And it makes things so much easier because you know exactly where the zones are. You don't have to, you don't have to draw these yourself. So you could do that, and then look what happens when you take the indicator off. It looks nice. See, and what it does here, it does the same exact thing. So like I was saying, as price moves, it's going to automatically adjust. So you can see price, and this helps you here perfectly because you can see where price rejects from. So say if you're taking a buy and you want to know where to get out of the trade, you can see that there's a zone right here. So if you see this zone here, obviously you can put your stop loss somewhere over here, or your TP around this area, so you can get out before you get caught in whatever reversal that happens. So if we keep moving forward, see price is moving. And then as it moves, see right here, it established a new resistance. Right here again, another resistance. Came down some. You can see where price rejects from. So if you have these on your chart, it's kind of like a little cheat code because it shows you exactly where price is going to be rejecting from. Like right here, as price broke through this huge zone right here, see this is a huge zone. So if it broke above here and you saw that this candle right here closed above, you could have entered a buy right there. You could have made what is this, like 293 pips on gold? And that's a lot of money if you caught that move right there. And you could pretty much just run it, and then it does all the work for you. So this way you don't have to go and plot support resistance. You can see right here, this is a strong zoned area. So as soon as price rejects off it, you can enter a buy and then, collect your money right there. Again, right here, it came up, tested this area, came up even higher. You can see where price consolidates. Usually when price gets in these zoned areas, they'll consolidate a little bit. So you can see it came up, it broke, came down, where it tested the zone, and then it broke above. If it broke above right here, you could have entered a buy position right there, and you could have locked in 593 pips of gold. And that's a lot of pips, because gold costs a lot more than normal FX pairs. So if you guys like to trade, support resistance, this would be perfect for you. Like it's a big misconception that people think that you need to apply my strategy to use the K2 indicators, but you really don't. You could apply these indicators to any type of strategy that you like. But like CT was saying, gold's better on the 1 hour. It gets too messy. So here on the 1 hour right here, see, it respects these zones perfectly. Came up, respected this zone, came down, respected this zone, it entered a buy right here. And then as you move forward, the zones just keep getting plotted for you. So you don't have to, see, this is perfect right here. If you saw this right here as price came down, you would have known that, price would have rejected off this point. And then it shoots on up. So right here, if you caught this, you could have saw this rejection, came down, rejected off this point. You could have entered a buy, somewhere around here. You could have rolled this up for whatever X amount of pips. But yeah, that's a quick explanation as how the K2SR indicator works. So if you are using the K2SR indicator, I do recommend you use version 2 so that you can have all of these zones plotted for you instead of just one. Also, if you don't want the zones and you just want to have the support resistance, you can go ahead and go to inputs right here, click on show body levels. And then instead of having those zones, you're just going to have the support resistance points. So some people like that because they just, they don't want the chart to be too messy. But personally, I like the zones because I like to know, like the heavy areas where price is likely to reject from. So there goes the explanation for, the K2SR indicator. I'm going to go over to the next question. Let's see. Cam's asking Shawn, Cam here. Did you get your verification account? And how long did it take for them to send? Let me see. Let me check my email real quick. So if you guys are aware of the posting earlier, what I did was this morning I passed the FTMO challenge for a $50,000 funded account. So let me see if I can pull it up here. So if you guys are familiar with FTMO, you know, basically what you have to do for FTMO is you just have to show them that, you know, you prove that you can trade, and then they'll give you a funded account. So this is my FTMO account right here. You know, you can see I passed all of the requirements here, and you know, a lot of people don't pass this. Like, this is hard for a lot of people to pass because they don't have, you know, a good strategy to apply that's, you know, consistently profitable. But you can see right here, you know, they had a requirement where I trade for 10 days. I passed this exactly on 10 days. You know, I haven't seen this very often. A lot of people, it takes, you know, an entire month for them to pass this test. But, you know, I did it in 10 days. You know, the max loss here is 2,500. You know, I calculated my risk exactly to that point where, you know, I wouldn't pass the max loss. So, you know, that worked out perfect for me. I passed that test. The max loss for the month was 5,000. I only lost 2,100 on one trade, but since you know, I won every other trade, my max loss was actually 10,000. So I passed that. You know, I didn't lose that much money, and then my profit target was 5,000, and then I passed that easily. So yeah, pretty much I got this notice down here that says, sorry guys, let me move this. Let's do that. Yeah, fix this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so if you see right here, it says, you know, currently trading objectives are completed. Congratulations. Please make sure that all your positions are closed. So I made it past the challenge. Let me see if I can pull up the website. So this is the website for FTMO. You know, if we go over to how it works, pretty much you pass the challenge, which, you know, a lot of people don't usually get past. And then after that, you go through the verification phase. So pretty much I was going for a $50,000 account. So what I needed to do is I needed to trade. I'd have a 30-day period where I can pass the challenge. I needed to trade for a minimum of 10 days, which I did exactly on 10 days. And then, you know, the maximum loss is 2,500, you know, 2,500 a day. Maximum loss total is 5,000. Profit target is 500. So I passed this already. And then Cam's asking about my verification phase. So now during the verification phase, I have 60 days to pass this challenge. Again, I need a minimum of 10 days. You know, I'm going to pass that probably in one day, but I'm just going to, you know, I have to trade for 10 days. So I'm going to be trading. You know, I have a little strategy that I use. So if you guys need help passing your FTMO, you know, I'm helping all K2 members pass. So, you know, if you want to get a funded account, you know, I can do it pretty easily. And then right here, you know, our max daily loss, the same thing, but our profit target is a lot lower. So on the challenge, I needed 5,000, but for the verification, I only need 2,500. And I can make this in one trade, you know, trading US 30. So I pretty much just need to win one US 30 trade. And then, you know, once I make that, then I get my funded account. So once I have my funded account, you know, I pretty much just have to trade 10 days. And then after 10 days, I can make a withdrawal. So like once I get my $50,000 account, all the profits that I make, I get to keep 70%. So so say, you know, I'm already anticipating that I'm going to make about 7,000 a week because I'm trading US 30. Each US 30 trade is 2,500. So it's pretty much gonna add up to 2,500. So, you know, because I calculate my risk where I'll make this amount. So if I make 2,500 and I trade US 30 once a day for 5 days, you know, times 5, that's 2,500 times 5. So pretty much this is my potential to make 12,500 a week, and then I'll just subtract one loss because, you know, just for whatever reason, you know, just in case. So I'll still be making about 10,000 a week. So if I do 10,000 a week and then I multiply that by 4 because I'm going to be trading for a month, I'll make 40,000 a month. And then what I do is I keep 70% of that. So you multiply that by 70. So every month I'll be making 28,000 trading, you know, an FTMO account. This is going to be my profits that I get to keep. And, I just pretty much rinse and repeat, do this every day, for the month. And then pretty much I'll be trading risk free. So I'll be trading FTMO's funded account. And then I make this every month. You multiply that by, 12 months. I'll make 336,000 a year, trading a funded account. There's no risk involved because I already passed the challenge. So, this is pretty much just money in my pocket. And then I don't have to risk my own money. I just pretty much just collect profits off, trading their funded account. So yeah, pretty much if you guys are in K2 Premium, a lot of you guys are doing it with me. And, we're all pretty much going to pass this, and, we're all going to have funded accounts. And then this is pretty much what everyone's going to be making every year. We're pretty much taking over the market. But yeah, I mean, that's just a quick explanation as to, what FTMO is. If you guys are interested, I have an affiliate code that'll definitely help K2. And I think you get a discount, or you get a, free try if you fail like on your first try. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions regarding this, then let's see. Yeah, CT said, wait, if you win 4 days out of 5, then it's 75,000 a week, right? Yeah, I think so. Let me see the math real quick. So if I do 2,500 per trade, because I calculate my risk where I won't lose this much, because this is going to be the limit. So if I lose more than this, then I'll lose the account. But if I don't lose this much, which we probably won't, because we rarely lose the US 30 trades, then obviously it would add up to X amount. But let's see. So CT said, wait. So out of 4 days, win 4 days out of 5, 7,500 a week. So let's multiply this by 4. It's 10,000 actually. So this is how much we make a week. Because if we did 5 days, 2,500 times 5, it'd be 12,500. So this would be if we had no losses. But I'm going to calculate a loss because, just in case. So that's one loss. So 4 wins out of the CT said, don't you, got you. Let's see. Yeah, Spencer. Yeah, just hit us. I mean, you can hit up anybody in the premium chat. All of us are doing FTMO, so all of us are going to get funded accounts just copying my US 30 trade. Pretty much I want everyone to pass this because, in this situation, you'll be trading risk free. So, you guys could have, $300 to take this challenge, and then you get refunded once you pass the test, which is almost guaranteed. I'm going to help you guys pass this test. And I'm doing this for all K2 members. But, obviously the premium members are going to have priority over everyone. See, Mackenzie, Megan's asking, can you do a tutorial on FTMO? Yeah, I'll do that a little later. Once I get my funded account and then, I get my first withdrawal and I can vouch for FTMO being legit, then I'll do a tutorial. I don't want to do it right now because, whatever happens moving forward, if it's something that I don't recommend, then, obviously I'm not going to want to teach you guys. But at this time, it seems pretty legit to me. Like I passed the challenge, within 10 days, the minimum requirement. But once I show you guys the the first check that I get from FTMO, then yeah, I'll make a tutorial and I can show you guys and teach you guys one-on-one, which is pretty much what I'm doing with the premium members. Like all I do is I trade 1 trade a day. I trade 1 US 30 trade a day. Let me see if I have the results here. Let's see. Let me put the link over here for you guys. I think some people on the premium are asking for the link. So I'll just put the, I'll type it here too. If you guys want to take a look, there's my affiliate link. I'll type it up over there. But yeah, pretty much. So if I look at our US 30 trade, we hit prop target like almost every time. So actually, I'll just go to results. So I got the results here. Let's go real quick. Okay, so these are the results for just taking US 30. These are the results from taking US 30 once a day. So I had 14 wins and 2 losses. So pretty much, and these 2 losses were my mistake. This is my bad. Like these are trades that we shouldn't have taken. but it was during a time when we were all super excited and we just wanted to, you know, take a US30 trade. And I accidentally called like a couple trades too early. So technically these should have been wins. So going back to, you know, our calculations earlier, CT, so we have 14 wins here. So 14 wins times, you know, each trade's gonna be 2,500. So within that month, I would have made 35,000 from these specific trades in May. And if I'm keeping 70% of that, then I'm going to take home 24,500. And I'm not risking anything. This is all risk-free because I'm not trading my own money. Oh yeah, no, I didn't. So I only counted the wins, CT. I didn't count the. Oh yeah, actually, no, you're right. So 14. So it'd be 12. Pretty much 12 times 2,500, 30,000. 70% of that. So I take home 21,000, which is, you know, not that bad. And I do that, you know, times 12. If I do that every month, you know, I take home 252,000 without risk. So this is all my profit, and I'm not risking anything because I'm not shooting. I'm not, you know, trading my own account, which is, you know, perfect for me because, you know, when you trade with, if you're trading money that's not yours, there's no emotion involved. So I could just place the trades, and then let them run. And you know, if you look at our US30 trades, like literally almost everything. Yeah, if we go to US30 full TP. So you can see every day hits like full TP. So if we go to whatever, it's not working. Yeah, so you can see right here, this was today. We hit full TP, 1,500 pips. You know, that would equate to 2,500 with regard to, you know, my risk management. Again, yesterday, or yeah, Wednesday was yesterday. So another win, full profit, 1,500 pips. And then again on Tuesday, another win, 1,500 pips. So you guys can see, you know, my US30 calls are extremely accurate. Like we hit TP almost every time. And even if we hit TP, like you keep going down, you know, I hit full TP literally like every time we call it. You know, there's so many times where I just hit full TP. But yeah, I mean, that's a quick breakdown demonstration of, you know, FTMO. Yeah, once everyone K2 gets funded, I mean, it'll be awesome because none of us are gonna have to worry about anything. We just collect the check every month. But yeah, Cam, I haven't gotten the email yet from FTMO, you know, confirming my verification. I know they're on a different time zone, so that's probably why. You know, I'm sure once it's you know, time for them to be working and being awake, then they'll probably send it over to me. But I'll show you that. I'll confirm with you later once I do get it. So Spencer is asking, any chance could you show a scalping strategy with either SPX or NASDAQ? Yeah, Spencer. So the same strategy that I applied earlier, it works for pretty much anything. It's for any indices. It's not just US30. So let's go back to the charts. So let me close that. I'll pull up SPX real quick. So S&P right here. Close all this stuff. 5 minute. Turn on the K2 indicator. So let's see. So pretty much, this is the same strategy that I was explaining earlier. So if you go here to K2 Trades Scalping Strategy, you can use this right here, the K2 Trades Indices Scalping Strategy 5-minute time frame. This works on all indices, and it doesn't have to be the 5-minute. You can literally use this on the 5-minute, 10-minute, or 15-minute, whatever you prefer. But on the 5-minute, you're going to get more entries. But yeah, if we go back to, I'm not going to go to here because this is still, you know, a fresh trade. But if we go to right here, you know, same exact strategy that we discussed earlier. So I'm gonna, and you can use this on NASDAQ as well. So this is the K2 Indices 5-minute scalp strategy. You know, first you want to identify a valid K2 signal. Next, you want to identify previous swing high, low. Next, you want to confirm strong bearish, bullish movement. And lastly, you want to enter on open of following candle. Lastly, you just want to place stop loss at previous swing for a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. And what else? And you want to remember to eliminate risk whenever possible. So let me space right there. So these are the requirements right here for the scalping strategy. Like I said earlier, you just want to identify a valid K2 signal. A valid K2 signal would be a buy signal with a bullish candle or a sell signal with a bearish candle. So pretty much right here, you've identified the two. You want to confirm a strong bearish or bullish movement. Since we're taking a buy here, then you would want to confirm that it's a strong bullish movement following the swing. So number one, we identify the K2 signal, which is right here. Next, we identify the previous swing. So I'm just going to draw a box right there because this is the swing. This would be the swing because you can just follow a chart as it moves. So right here is a swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low. So this is the low right here. You want to confirm the strong bullish movement. Right here we have a strong bullish movement upwards. Like I said, it's objective. So, you might not see this as a strong bullish movement, or you might, it really depends. So right there, you'll enter on the open of the following candle. So right here, you'll enter right there, put the stop loss at the previous swing, which is right here. We'll round that to 60 pips. And the key thing with scalping is you want to remember to eliminate your risk whenever possible. So as price moves up, you want to move your stop loss to break even or slightly in profit, because you don't want to get caught in any whipsaws or price going the opposite direction. Like right here, this probably would have been a valid sell right here because these requirements were met, but price like swung up so fast that I'll go over this example later. So let's just run over this real quick and I'll pull back to that. So right there, you can see, price might have hit TP. No, it didn't. It was close to it. But if you eliminated your risk and you put your stop loss up as it moved up, you've gone stop out somewhere down here. And the thing is, yeah, so Spencer, you're asking about a scalping strategy, but if you're not familiar with scalping and you're not fast enough, or you're not a self-efficient trader that can move very quickly, then I don't recommend you start scalping. You should probably start trading intraday or the longer time frames before you move to scalping. Because the thing is, if you're trading on the 5-minute, you have to know what you're doing, because a split second right here could mean the difference between a win or a loss. In this situation, as price moved up, you would have to move your stop loss really quick, or exit your trade or whatever you had to do. Because the thing here is, if you let it run, actually it's still running, so we wouldn't be able to determine whether it actually hit or not. Yeah, Spencer. So if you're doing swing trading, scalping is totally different from swing trading. So I'm not sure if this fits your trading style. A lot of people try to go in between. A lot of people like to switch from swing trading to scalping, or from scalping to swing trading, and they can't do both. So it really depends on your trading personality. If you like to swing trade, then you should just stick with swing trading. But if you like to scalp, you should probably stick with scalping. But just going back to what I was saying. We can't really confirm whether this trade played out or not, because price hasn't gone that far. So, let's go back in time and let's see if we could find something else over here that is a better example. So I'm just gonna look around and see if there's any entries. Okay, so this is a perfect one right here. Obviously, this is going to be a win, but I'm going to show you just an example of how it works, because we couldn't play it out on that last trade because price hasn't moved far enough. So right here, if you're going to be applying the strategy, same requirements. Identify a K2 signal, a valid one, which is right here. We have a valid buy signal. Next, you want to identify the swing low. So right here, price came down, came up, came down. So this would be the swing low right here. You don't have to draw this little box rectangle over here, but I just do it just so you have visualization of where the swing low is. Next, you want to confirm a strong bearish or bullish movement. Since we're taking a buy, you want to confirm a bullish movement. So right here, you can see that price rejected off this swing low, and then we have 3 very strong bullish candles, 1, 2, 3, and they're both very strong. So after that, you want to enter on the open of the following candle. So you're going to be entering right when this candle closes. Generally, what I do is I'll be watching the trade, and as the candle closes, I'll just hit a market buy right away so I can get into the trade. So right here, we'll enter a buy right there. You'll put your stop loss at the previous swing, which is right here, 45. So 101 risk forward ratio, 45.35. And then you pretty much just let it run. And there you go. You would have hit profit target in about 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. And then, I mean, let's see if there's any other entries. I don't know if there's any more coming up. So this right here, I wouldn't count this as a valid scalp entry, because although this requirement's met, we have a valid K2 signal because it's a sell signal with a bearish candle. We identified the swing high up here. The reason why I wouldn't take this trade is the third requirement. You want to confirm a strong bearish movement following the swing high, since we're taking a sell. And as you can see here, price came down, but it hit some resistance around here. So it came down, there was a bullish candle right here, and then it came down further, there's another bullish candle right here, and then right here was a sell signal. So this wouldn't be a strong bearish movement for me. Like this is not strong enough because there's some bullish candles in between. They don't necessarily have to be all bearish candles, but it just needs to be, you know, a strong bearish movement. So it could give you, you know, an idea of where price is going to be going. Again, right here, I wouldn't consider this a valid entry either. Although this is a valid K2 signal, you know, it's a buy signal with a bullish candle. And then we identify the swing low right here. But it's for the same exact reason. So for number 3, you want to confirm a strong bullish movement since you're taking a buy. I wouldn't consider this strong enough because there's only one candle prior to, you know, the swing and the signal candle. So this is not enough for you to get a good idea as, you know, where price is probably going to be moving because it's only 2 candles. Anything after that, you know, anything can happen. So let me move forward a little bit. Right here, same difference because you can see there's a swing high right here. Although we have a valid signal, it came down, and then this was a, you know, like a bullish doji. So this is like generally this would be a reversal candle, and that's exactly what happened here. So if you took this for a sell, you know, price would have rejected right there and then reversed. Again, right here, this might have been a valid entry, but like I said, when you're confirming the third requirement, when you're confirming, you know, a strong bullish or bearish movement, it's going to be very subjective. So if I see this as a strong bullish movement, you might not see the same thing because there's a bearish candle right here. So I probably would have avoided that one as well. Same right here. There's a swing high, but there's a bullish candle. So there's, you know, there's obviously no requirements met there. This possibly, but I wouldn't have taken it because of this bearish candle. And this is why I don't like scalping, because when you're scalping, you have to literally be on the chart, like staring at the chart and waiting for, you know, an entry to appear. And this is super stressful, especially if you're waiting for something to close in like this. Say you've been waiting for this trade for how long did we wait from over here? So you've been waiting for like 4 hours to get a trade. And, you know, I don't want to stare at the chart all day. I'd rather just take something on the higher time frame. And that's where, you know, trade psychology comes in too, because if you're staring at a chart for 4 hours and you don't see an entry, you're going to get fatigued and you're going to get tired, and then you're going to start slipping. And then if you start slipping, you're going to start losing. So, like, you know, scalping is not made for everyone. It's made for certain traders. But yeah, Spencer said, thanks, man. I think my style is better. Yeah, definitely. Personally, you know, this is cool if you want to make a lot of money because you can take so many more trades, but, you know, it does take a toll on you because you have to be staring at the chart for hours on end. And, you know, I personally don't like doing that anymore. So that's why I stopped scalping. Even though I could probably make more money scalping, you know, personally, you know, I'd rather be healthy and, you know, not be stressed out all the time. Yeah, this strategy works on all assets. So if you want to go and practice this, you can go ahead and practice, but I recommend you practice on demo first, because I know a lot of people who have made a lot of money scalping and lost it all like minutes later. And, you know, that could be crushing if you know you lost like a couple thousands in like a couple minutes. So if you were to do this, I do recommend that you only you know, do it on demo until you're actually comfortable with it. See, Keith said there was an entry this morning at 6:30, 6:20, and 9 a.m. Keith, so are you doing this on S&P? Let me go over to that. So he said 6:20 a.m. So I'm gonna go over here. Keith, you might be on a different time zone, so I'm not sure which time zone you're on. I don't see anything here for 6:20. Depending on where you're located, it might have been this candle right here or this candle down here. I mean, either or, these are both good candles that you could have entered on. Oh, he's Eastern time. Okay, so 6:20, that'd be 9:20 for me. Okay, so it'd be, yeah, right here. So it'd probably be one of these over here. Yeah, it looks like it might have been this sell right here. So if you took this sell right here, yeah, there's a valid K2 signal. And Keith, were you doing this on the 5-minute or the 10-minute? I think S&P actually works better on the 10-minute. I think, I don't know if John's in here, but I know John's been testing it out. And we looked at it before. It actually, it looks like it works a lot better on the 10-minute. I don't know, it depends. No, 10-minute. Yeah, I don't really see an entry here on mine. 6:20 would be 9:20 my time. I don't really see anything here. I'm not sure if you're on a different. You might be looking at different different data, because I'm on Owanda, and I know that, you know, there's different data like currency.com and stuff like that. So you might be on a different data that shows a signal here. All right, so John's here too. John said it did good on the 10. So just looking at it right here, this actually would be a good entry right here. Yeah, I think this might have been it right here, the one that you were looking at. So right here, if you identify you know, a valid K2 signal, right here we have a valid sell because it's a sell candle with a bearish candle, and then we'd identify the previous swing, which would be right here, and then you want to confirm a strong bearish movement. Since this is a 10-minute, each candle is two 5-minute candles. So this is technically 4 candles. So if we identify this right here, we have identified the swing high up here, and then this would be technically 4 bearish candles. And it looks like a strong bearish move. So if you were to enter this trade right here for a sell, and then you wrote that down, you know, it hit TP. Actually, it'd be higher because we put at the previous swing. So yeah, Keith, if you took this one, man, you need some bank off this. Looks like a good trade. So right here, I'll move this up to the previous swing. It's about 91 pips. So we'll just round that to 100 because I just like rounding it to a full number. And then, yeah, pretty much right there, it looks like it hit TP. But yeah, man, Keith called that nice thing right there. So right there, you would have made 100 pips. I'm not sure what the valuation is for S&P because I don't trade it. But yeah, Keith looked like he secured the bag on that one. Look at that, 100 pips. And let's see, how many minutes? I think about an hour, right? Yeah, hour 20. It's not bad at all. You know, this wouldn't be a valid entry right here. It's almost as much as gold. Yeah, so I think this is probably like 1.75 or something like that. It's a lot more than Forex pairs. Again, right here, I think this is the one you were talking about. So this one right here, if you took this buy, this looks nice. So same requirements, you know, identify a valid K2 signal. Right here, we have a buy signal with a bullish candle. So this would be considered a valid K2 signal. Next, you'll identify the previous swing. You can see price swings from swing up, swing down, swing up, swing down. I'm just gonna mark this up right here so we see the swing. So first 2 requirements are met. We identified a valid K2 signal right here. We identified the previous swing, which is down here. And then we confirmed a strong bullish movement since we're taking a buy. So right here, after the swing, there were 3 strong bullish candles. That's 1, 2, 3 bullish candles, and they're both pretty strong. So we'll enter a buy off that. Previous swing is down here. So we'll round that to 140. Let that run. Look at that, man. So yeah, if Keith took both of these, man, he made bank off both of those trades. So he made 100 pips off this one, and then 140 off this one. You know, easy. So this is what I mean about scalping. You know, you make money really quick. Like this would have hit within, you know, 50 minutes. So in 2 hours, he made, let's see. First one was 100 pips plus 140. And then if you multiply that by 1.75 per pip, you know, you made 420 bucks. 420 bucks in 2 hours. It's not bad at all. But yeah, I just stick to US 30 because what I do recommend is if you like S&P, then learn S&P and just trade that. You know, you don't have to trade every indice. Like if you have one that you really like to trade, then just focus on that and then master it. Just kind of how I did with US 30, you know. I only trade US 30 and my win rate on US 30 is like, what, 90%? So it's, you know, if you can do that with S&P, then do it because, you know, that's the main key. A lot of people focus on too many pairs. FX is different because FX, they all kind of move the same. But with indices, you know, they all kind of move very specifically because they have their own specific, you know, stocks in their index. Like for S&P, it has 500 stocks. So this is going to be moving around, you know, back and forth a lot more compared to, you know, like US 30. So US 30 is only the top 30 US stocks. So you can see US 30, it's more directional. You know, you can see it moves in directions, up, down, up, down. If you compare that to like S&P kind of bounces around a lot more because there's more stocks. So if one stock is going down, the other stocks are going up, you know, they're going to conflict and they're going to consolidate or, you know, move in a certain direction. And that's why I don't mix between the two indexes because, you know, you want to just stick to one. If you like trading S&P, then learn S&P. If you want to trade gold, learn gold. If you want to trade US 30, you know, learn US 30. You don't have to go and trade, you know, X amount of different assets to be considered a good trader. Like myself, I don't trade gold, so I don't give analysis on gold. I don't trade S&P, so I don't give analysis on, you know, S&P either. I only give analysis on stuff that I know and stuff that I'm, you know, good at trading because obviously I want to give you guys quality over quantity. But yeah, sorry guys, I took a while on that, so I'm going to keep going down the list of questions again. So let's see. Next question is again from Brandon. So Brandon's asking, what's your bias on NZD USD? It's been bullish for forever. So similar to what I was saying about, you know, all the other USD cross pairs in major pairs. Let's see, about 4 hour. Because it's because we're in NFP, it's pretty much doing the same thing. So right now, you know, this is a major pair that's paired with the US. And it's just going to consolidate pretty much until, you know, NFP tomorrow, or it might move a little bit during London. So right here we have, you know, it's only moved 21 pips in the last day. Like that's barely anything. So personally, I wouldn't enter NZD USD if, you know, you're thinking about entering it. If you are in it, I would move your stop loss and profit if you could, because the thing is, like I was saying with, you know, the other pairs, it's going to consolidate until you know, NFP happens or whatever news event that occurs, and it's going to shoot in one direction or the other. So the problem with that is if you're in this trade, oh yeah, so one other thing too, if you're in this trade and you have your stop loss there and you're using like an offshore broker or, you know, unregulated broker, what might happen is even though you have your stop loss placed like right there, if there's slippage and price comes below that, you're gonna be screwed because price is gonna come all the way down and then you're gonna have a blown account. So you know, I don't recommend you trade during NFP because this happens a lot. I mean, let me show you guys you know, what happened with the same thing that we share all the time in the group. So if you look at the group, guys, I'm sure you guys have heard of K² Forex. This is what happened last time. See, this guy thought he's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on right now. Well, money back on top. I had a 25 pip stop. So he had his stop loss, like I said, right there. And he's like, and they're still not honoring it. So his balance of 4,000 went to negative 21,000. So this could happen to you if you have an active trade and you're using an offshore broker or an unregulated broker like Hugo's Way, Caught Forex. I mean, what else? Hot Forex. You know, any of those weird names. If you're trading on those brokers, you know what happens is if price comes below this and there's slippage, you're going to blow your entire account. And it's going to go into heavy negative, and then you're not going to be able to get your money back. So personally, that's why I don't even trade NFP. Like, it's not even worth the risk. Like, when people get excited over trading NFP, like I'd shake my head, because it's like, you know, you can literally lose your entire account in seconds. So and Brandon said you have to pay them back. No, so you just, well, if you're using a US account, then yeah, you'll have to pay them back, because, you know, they have your information. But if you're using an offshore account, you can just you know, make a new account. You don't really have to pay them back, because so the same protections that they have, where, you know, they have no liability over your money because they're offshore, they're unregulated, you know, they don't follow US law, so they can do whatever they want. They can, you know, give your money back, or they could just, you know, tell you to go away. The difference with when using a US regulated broker is, if something like this happens, you can usually dispute it. You can tell, you know, that you can tell the broker, like, you know, hey, what happened here? You guys need to refund me or whatever. And since they're a US regulated broker, they have to follow US laws, and they can't scam you and not give you your money back. So they'll probably give you a refund. But the pretty much, if this happens and it was your fault, then, you know, obviously you're gonna have to pay back, because you're gonna be trading on margin. However, if you're trading on a unregulated broker, then, you know, more times than not, they're gonna ask you to pay it back, but you're not gonna have to pay it back because they don't have your information. Or they do have your information, but they're not gonna be able to track you down and, you know, like, make you pay for it. You just make a new account. Megan's asking, what broker do I use? So I use Forex.com for Forex. I also use TD Ameritrade sometimes. But for the most part, I just use Forex.com. For indices, I use FTMO's broker, which is LMAX. They're an institutional broker. So they're not available to a lot of people, because it's a minimum $10,000 deposit to open an account with them. So you know, it's not going to be accessible to everyone. But I also use Hugo's Way for my basically my fun account. So I have, like, I just keep 1,000 in there, and then I trade that live with my personal money. And you know, I don't mind that account, because if I lose 1,000, it's fine. But I don't put anything over that, because I don't want to risk, you know, more than that. Spencer's asking, wait, see what Brandon said. Brandon said, good, I will over leverage and rinse and repeat until I make $1 million. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people that do that, but see, the problem with that is, if you do that, and, you know, your broker finds out you're doing that, they're gonna give you an excuse why they don't need to pay you out. So if you try to make a withdrawal, they're gonna be like, oh, you were scamming the system. You're like, and they're not gonna give you your money. And then there's no, you know, recourse to that, because they're not following US law, so you can't do anything about it. They're just not gonna give you your money back. So Spencer's asking what leverage is on Forex.com. I believe it's 1 to 30. It's not that high, but, you know, higher leverage doesn't equate to you know, better, so like a better account, because when you have low leverage, it requires you to use proper risk management, which you already should be doing. But yeah, I mean, if you want to trade, you know, bigger lot sizes with a small amount, then, you know, you're not going to be able to do that with Forex.com, because they're going to force you to trade with, you know, basically, what is it, like 3% per trade, or like you can't risk more than 30%. So yeah, that's pretty much what 1 to 30 is. So that's leverage on that. Let me keep going down the questions, see if there's anything else. Anonymous attendees asking to look at GCAD real quick. So let me pull up GCAD. That's a trade that we did have earlier. I know there's some people that are still in it, there's some people that aren't. If you're still in it, then, you know, you still be in profit, but a lot of us got stopped out due to this spike earlier. So there was, I think, European news this morning, which caused this to spike down, which, you know, stopped us out. But it came right back up. So for some people, if you're still in it, I mean, that's good. You're going to be in profit right now. But, you know, GCAD has been playing like all week. So personally, I wouldn't hold it long term. I would probably, you know, close it on profit if you could, especially before NFP tomorrow. So for GCAD, my bias on this is that it's probably going to keep continuing up. You know, I've been thinking it was going to come up for like the entire week, but it's just been playing around the entire week. So right here we have a momentum signal upwards. So what I do anticipate happening is if price rejects off this support right here, and then it is followed by a strong bullish candle, then I anticipate it to shoot on upwards. However, it's been playing all week. So we entered an entry right here. This like pulled back and then it came back up. And then we entered again, I think somewhere over here. So we had two entries. We had this entry right here, and then it came down and it shot on up, and then it did the same exact thing again. So it's literally just been playing. So if you're in GCAD, I would exit and profit if you could. It's just not a good pair to trade right now. You know, there's no direction. It's just pretty much consolidating within this zoned area right here. So let me see. I'm gonna go to the next question. Nathan's asking, does SPX always move the same as US 30? Not always, because like I was mentioning earlier, the S&P has 500 stocks in them, while the US 30 only has 30 stocks. So the thing is, you know, the less stocks is going to give it, you know, more opportunity to move in like one direction. With S&P, since it has 500 stocks, if not all the stocks are moving in the same direction, it could just consolidate for a while. Instead of, you know, moving directional like the US 30 usually does. So it does move in the same direction a lot of the times, but not all the time. So I wouldn't count on that. Like if I'm calling a US 30 trade, I wouldn't take, you know, the same trade for S&P just because. Like you would have to look at the chart and make sure they're actually moving in the same direction. I'll see if I can pull it up here to show you. So let me pull this up on the 1 hour. And I'll just take the indicators off the chart. And then I'll pull up S&P over here. And this is just for an example so you guys can see. Because I know a lot of people try to do that. They try to copy my my US 30 trade on S&P, and I tell them not to because it's not always moving the same direction. And then they get mad that they don't get the same results because obviously I try to warn you guys that it doesn't move the same all the time. So you can see right here, it does move kind of similar. But if you look at the chart, you look at mine over here, and you look at this, they move kind of similar. Here, I'm gonna try to box this out. So I'm gonna box out the area where they retest, or like when. Let's see. It's not gonna really it's not gonna match up because the. But you can see that they kind of move together, but down here, they move different. Like right here, it came down, and then it just consolidated. Right here, it came down, and then it shot back up, and then it consolidated. Let me see if I can move it down a little further. So you can see right here, they kind of move in the same direction, but not always. Like you can see right here, it came up. US 30 is actually a lot smoother. So it came up, and then it just dropped a little bit, and then it came back up, and then it dropped again, and then it shot up. Right here, it came up, shot down, came up, and it shot down heavy right here. Kind of similar to what happened on US 30 over here. But then it came up, and then it started kind of, you know, moving around a little weird right here. Like over here, it kind of consolidated, and then it came down. Right here, it kind of consolidated, came up, and then came down. So this is why you can't always take, you know, the same trade, because if you're taking the same exact trade, it's not always going to end up the same exact way. And then again right here, like you can see it's similar in a sense, but it's not exactly similar. Like right here, it just consolidated sideways. Right here, it came down pretty heavy. Like they're not exactly the same. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. Let me see what's next. Let's see. Megan's asking, can you look at UCAD short position? Check it out real quick. Hey Vic, can you put that that question in the Q&A? Because I got 33 questions left, so I'm gonna go down the list before I get to yours. So if you could put that in the Q&A, I can get to that. But I'm gonna go down them by chronological order real quick before you know, I skip around. Then a lot of these guys have been waiting for a while. So Megan, here's a UCAD. You open the TS. All right, cool. So let me pull this forward. So UCAD's in the same position as all the other trades, you know, that are connected, that are paired with the US. UCAD's also been consolidating for a long time, so it's been consolidating since the first. You know, it's been consolidating for like 4 days. So this is something I would not be in because, you know, when it consolidates like this, it's literally charging up for a breakout. So the problem with that is if it doesn't break out in your direction, you're going to be screwed because there might be slippage, especially if you're using, I think you're using Hugos or something, right? You're using an unregulated broker. You know, like I mentioned earlier, slippage could happen. Advantage, okay, so I'm not sure if Advantage is regulated, but if it isn't, then you know something could happen, like right here. So you can see right here, UCAD was consolidating for a little bit until it broke out. You know, this might not cause slippage right here, but if it broke out with a big candle like this, then this would cause slippage more likely than not, because it's such a huge move that it might miss your stop loss, and then it'll just keep going down. But it looks like, okay, you said short position below this right there. So you said it was 135, 5, 135. Actually, here, let me I'm just gonna use the actual long tool. 135.35. Your prop target is 1. I'm gonna go for your second position. So 134.30. Oh wow, that's a big move. So you're trying to catch 105 pips. That's so you're in profit right now. But like I was saying, you know, it's in consolidation right here. So the problem with this is, you know, personally, I would just exit the trade if you're this deep in profit, because if this happens where it shoots upwards and there's slippage, like there's a big candle like this and it passes your stop loss, then you might be screwed. I mean, it could go in your direction, honestly, it could. So like if you want to hang on to this trade, it's probably not going to move until, you know, NFP, because UCAD usually moves, let's see 6 a.m. It moves during New York. See right here was, this was Sunday. So we're gonna count this, but normally you can see here it consolidated throughout the day. And then at 6 a.m. It came shooting down. So that's probably what's gonna happen at 5:30 tomorrow when NFP happens. So it might drop down, you know, it could come down, hit full TP. But I would move your stop loss at least to break even or in profit, so you could lock in, you know, enough profit to cover your spread and your commission. But you know, the problem is if it shoots on this way, because so here's the main problem. The problem with NFP is that, you know, we all know it's going to be bad news. So the thing is, if it's going to be bad news, the banks aren't going to make it that easy for, you know, you to make money off them, because you're going to sell because you think US dollar is going to be weak. So what the bank might do is they might spike price up for USD so they could stop everyone out, because they know everyone's going to have stop losses up here, correct? So if there's stop losses right here, you know, they're going to spike price up, stop everyone out, and then drop it down to make money off you guys. So they're going to shoot it up, and then they stop everyone out. And what else? What do they do after that? Once they stop you out, they put a bunch of sell orders to push price back down. And as they do that, you know, people get stopped out in both directions, and then they end up setting the direction, you know, whatever direction they want to set it. And that's why I don't trade NFP, because there's a lot of manipulation going on during that time, especially if you already know what the unemployment data is going to be. So everyone knows unemployment is going to be bad because, you know, we're in COVID, you know, the protests are going on, you know, rioting, looting, like the world's not exactly moving in the direction it should be at the moment. So, you know, everyone's expecting the US dollar to be weak. So everyone's expecting price to go down. So the problem is you're in the same position as the majority of people. So let me pull up, I'll pull up the, let's see, USD CAD IG sentiment. If you guys are familiar with, you know, looking up the sentiment, you guys would be able to see where all the traders are. And the thing is, you don't want to be trading in the same direction, in the in the same direction as everyone else. So you might be in a good position actually. So if you look right here for USD CAD, there's 67% of the traders are buying right now. So, you know, they're trying to do the opposite of what the market's doing. So the thing is, you know, everyone thinks that price is going to be going down because of an NFP, but there's a lot of people here that are trying to outsmart the system. They're trying to go along the opposite direction. So what might happen here actually is they might spike the price down. Banks might spike the price down to stop everyone out that has a buy position, which might hit your profit target. So it might be good for you, and then they might shoot it upwards. So this is actually kind of scary for UCAD because I was thinking that majority of people would be short, but majority of people are long right now. So the banks are going to do opposite of what everyone else is doing because obviously they're going to make more money. They're going to make more money by you know stopping all the people out where the majority of people are. So I mean, this is a risky trade. This is super risky. So personally, I wouldn't hang on to it if you're still in it. But if you do, at least move your stop loss and profit. I mean, good luck if you're in that trade. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, let me see. Okay, so I'm done with that question. Hope that answers your UCAD question. You have another one for FTSE. I'm not familiar with FTSE. I've never traded that before, but you can take a look. Megan, for FTSE, is it? Do you know if it's this pair right here? I'm not sure. I've never seen this before. I don't think it's this one. Do you know what the symbol is for FT? Oh, is this it? Why does it look like that? Oh, you can only see it on the daily, huh? Yeah, I can't even analyze this. Megan, I'm not sure how do you even look at this thing. Okay, you look at it on the daily. I mean, it's still hard to analyze. It doesn't. I mean, literally, you could just take the K2 signals if you have the indicators. It looks like if you took this buy signal right here, which was valid, you know, you can make a nice profit off that. You know, take a sell signal. Unless it's a different asset, it might be a different one. Let's see, FTSE 100. It might be this one, maybe. This looks a lot more like it. I don't know if it's the UK 100. Is that what it is? So this looks a little better. Let's see. You said you're gonna send in the chat. All right, so before I go there, I'll move on to the next one first until you know we figure out what that one is. So you do have the S&P. I'll move on to that because we have that already. All right, so S&P. You said you have a long position, so I'm gonna put this somewhere over here. You have a long position for 3096. And then your TP2 is going to be, I'm going to go for the higher one, 3143. Oh, wow, that's a high 403. That's a high target you're looking for. Oh, the DAX. Okay, I'll look at the DAX. Yeah. So I have that on my watch list. So I'll take a look at that right after I look at S&P. So you're trying to. This is a pretty big move. This might happen during London, but it does look good because see, this is actually a valid K2 buy entry right here. Yeah, on this current candle. So if this candle closes in the next 5 minutes, sorry, this would be a valid K2 buy entry. So if this lines up when this candle closes in about 7 minutes, you know, you can anticipate it to shoot on up. So this is actually a really good trade. That you caught this at a very good time. I'm not sure where you. Oh, so you probably caught this over here before this shot up. So you got a super early head start on this trade if you you got in at that price point, but it does look good. One thing that I would do is as it moves up, I would move your stop loss with it. So I'd probably, as it moves halfway, so once price reaches, let's see. Yeah, once price reaches somewhere around here, I'll just round it down. 3125. Once it reaches this point, I would move your stop loss to this point actually, so that you could lock in this much profit, and then you can still run to full TP. You know, because then you're going to guarantee this much profit, regardless as to whether, you know, wherever price is going to move. But since we do have a buy signal and the trend meter is super strong green, you know, you're probably going to see that push up a little further. So this actually looks really good. You know, it's a good call right there. So let me go over to, I'll go back to DAX since that's what you wanted to look at earlier. Yeah, it's weird. I know DAX kind of has a weird name. You put FTSE. So DAX on my chart is going to be, oh, it's going to be, wait, is it GRE? Yeah, the German index. So the DAX is the German index. Same situation here. It's however, it's in consolidation. So I personally wouldn't want to be in this trade because it's consolidating right now. And the trend is neutral. So let me see if there's any SRs around here. Whoops. Show body levels. Okay, so right here, let's draw these zones. So the problem with this trade is that the overall trend is neutral, plus it's in a consolidation phase right now. So this is actually, you know, it can go either way. It can either go up, or it could go down. So we do have a buy signal right here. It might shoot up to that resistance, and then it might just keep bouncing around until London opens. So London opens in about, what, 3 hours, maybe 4 hours? In 4 or 5 hours, London will open, and then we'll probably see some volatility. However, this looks like a pretty strong resistance point. So 1, 2, 3. Megan, are you in this for a buy? I think it was a long, right? Let me go to the questions you answered. Oh, you're in a short, actually. No, you're, so you, I mean, you technically might be good. Let me see. Let me pull a short right here. Your entry for this is, let's see, 6390. Oh, wait, no, this doesn't even match up. Oh, wait, that's weird. Because you're, so I'm looking at your FTSE. It shows that your position is 6390, but I'm looking at the picture you sent me, and this is for the DAX. So these numbers don't match up with the numbers that you sent me. But I mean, I'm just going to analyze it for short anyways. It doesn't really matter that the numbers are off. But if you're in a short, I mean, it doesn't have much leeway because it's so close to this support right here too. So it's only about 34 pips. So the problem with that is if it comes down, test it, and then if it rejects, you know, that'd be a double bottom right there, because, or even more than a double bottom, because see, it's tested it a couple of times right here. So it's tested it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the 5th time it's testing it. So I don't know, personally, I just don't like how this looks, because I don't like trading when it's consolidating unless you're scalping. But there's literally no direction. You can see here it's been consolidating for the past, let's see, for the past 10 hours. So I would probably wait until London, and if it breaks below here, then, you know, you're pretty much good to go. But, you know, the thing is, it could also shoot on up, because we are getting a buy signal right here, and it looks like it's pushing up right here. You know, it's kind of forming a cup right here. So, I mean, this is really iffy until there's, you know, some sort of catalyst pushing price in a certain direction. Then, you know, there's no real way to determine. Even on the 1 hour, it's getting a buy signal. So it's getting a buy signal. It's probably going to shoot on up this way. I'm not sure what stop loss is. But I don't know. You'll just have to give it some more time. But it does match up with your chart right here. So yeah, this that you do see coming down, I do see that too, but it might push up for a while before it actually comes down. Because if we do get a buy signal, you can see how strong these buy candles push up. It's been pushing up for a while. So the thing is, it could really go either way. There's been no confirmation that it's going to break down. It's tested at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 times here. It hasn't had enough strength to break yet. So the thing is, if it shoots on up, it might just keep continuing upwards. But it's going to have to break out of one of these zones before it actually like determines what direction it's going to continue moving. So yeah, there goes DAX for you. Let me keep going down. Okay, one more from you, NASDAQ. So NASDAQ is probably moving the same similar way right now. Yeah, NASDAQ is actually it looks worse because it's been consolidating for a long time. So right here, it consolidated and then it spiked randomly over there. Let's see, this morning. I know that there was a lot of tech stocks that were, I mean, they're going both ways. So it was literally in consolidation for like an entire day. And then right here, let me just delete all this stuff. It looks like it's in consolidation again right here. So personally, I really wouldn't trade indices right now because of NFP. I mean, if you're familiar with NFP, like NFP is going to affect all the indices pretty heavily tomorrow. So I personally wouldn't be trading these right now unless you're in profit. I would move your stop loss in profit at least, or at break even, because literally all of them are in consolidation, so they could either break one direction or the other. There's no real catalyst telling you, unless you have some type of news or some type of insider information that's telling you it's going to move a certain direction. I do see you have a long, but honestly, it could be coming down because. Let's see. So if let me turn on the SR to see if there's any zones nearby. See, it's actually in a pretty heavily zoned area. So right here, and then right here. So it's like in pretty strong consolidation at the moment. So if I take these off, you can see right here, it's just going to be bouncing around until NFP. And you don't want to be in this trade during NFP because it could literally go either way. So until it breaks out, it's going to shoot out really strong up, or it's going to shoot down really strong down. So this might be a really risky trade for you to be holding. So personally, I wouldn't really hang on to this unless you absolutely need to. Like one thing you have to keep in mind too is that you don't need to trade all the time. Like you got to realize that there's times where you shouldn't be trading. Like especially like during NFP. Like right now we're taking it easy kind of because we don't want to get caught in trades when NFP happens. But yeah, pretty much there goes my analysis for NASDAQ. I don't really have analysis for it because there's no catalyst telling me, indicating what direction price is going to move. You can see right here, even on the 4-hour, it's literally in consolidation. So I'd be careful with that. If you're in a buy, if you're in profit, I would move a stop loss, pretty close or at least in profit with it, in case it does turn around. Yeah, I mean, this is a really risky trade to be holding because it's been pushing up all week, and the problem with that is that you don't know if this is a established ceiling right there before it comes on down, because it's gonna have to come down at some point. So yeah, there goes my analysis for NASDAQ. Let me keep going down the list. Brandon, I think, did I go over UCAD already? I think I did, right? But I'll pull it up again just in case. Yeah, so I did go over UCAD earlier. Like I said, it's it's in consolidation right now. So personally, I wouldn't be hanging on to this trade during NFP because you're not really sure what direction it's going to move in. So personally, UCAD, I would get out of it or move in profit if you're in that trade for a sell. Craig's asking about GCAD. I went over that a little earlier too. Let me just pull it up real quick. GCAD. All right, so yeah, for GCAD, like I was saying earlier, we entered this trade twice this week, but it hasn't really moved very much. It's just been bouncing around. It's been in a range. So personally, I wouldn't enter this trade. But like I said earlier, if it does reject off this support, and then if it's followed by a strong bullish candle, then we could probably see it shoot up. But you know, that's going to take a lot of time because this candle closes in about 2 hours. And even if this candle closes in about 2 hours, it's still going to have to be followed with a confirmation candle after it. So technically, you're not going to know which direction it's going to be moving in or have a good idea until, you know, the next 6 hours from now. And by then, you should probably not be any trades because the NFP is going to be coming, you know, 5 hours later. So, you know, be very cautious with this trade if you're in it. If you're in the same trade that, you know, we called earlier this week, then I recommend you exit as soon as it goes into profit. Because, you know, like there's no way to really tell, you know, what direction is going to be pushed during NFP. Let me see. All right, got another question from Megan. So Megan, you're asking about US 30. Let's see. See, for US 30, it has a strong bullish bias, you know, compared to the other pairs you asked. So compared to S&P, compared to NASDAQ, this is actually moving very nicely in a bullish bias. Looking at S&P, it's also moving in a bullish bias, but it's more in consolidation rather than, you know, moving directional right now. Similar with NASDAQ. NASDAQ is in very strong consolidation. This is one pair that I wouldn't want to be in. I'd rather be in US 30 than NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, obviously I would, you would probably, let's see. I mean, if you're in a buy, it would be good. So you do have long positions. You had long position above 2.0. Here, I'll just mark it up so this would be easier. 26, 260, 60. Yeah, 260, 60. Oh, wow, you got in for pretty good for this. Megan, you've been in this trade for a while, it looks like. Okay, so 260, 60. Yeah, right on point. Target 26530. So you're perfectly fine. If you're in this trade, you're about to hit full TP. I would just move your stop loss and profit. Wow, this is a big move. Did you catch this entire move? Because then you're up like, let's see. You're up like 3,000 pips right now. So, I mean, that was a fantastic. Well, if you took, you know, if you took the K2 signal right here, this buy, you'd be up like how many pips? Jesus, you'd be up like 8,000 pips. But you're doing pretty well right now. You're up 3,000 pips at the moment. You know, I would just move your stop loss. I'm hoping you move your stop loss to break even or at least some profit. I would move your stop loss right here, where this bearish candle is, around 26234. You know, just in case, just to lock in. So if you were to do that, if you move your stop loss from right here, you'd lock in at least 1,800 pips, 1,800, 1,900 pips, guaranteed. So, you know, you'd have that guaranteed, and then if it shoots up to complete full TP, then, you know, that'd be even better. But it looks good. It looks like it's going to keep pushing on up. It might even have like a nice push once we get closer to London session. But yeah, it looks good. This is a great call. I don't know how you analyzed that or picked it. Let me go on the 30-minute. Yeah, see right here, the next signal on the 30-minute is going to be a buy signal as well. So if you were to take, man, I wish I took these trades right here. Like if I took this buy signal right here on the second and I held on to it, you know, that would have been a nice move. So from right there, if I took that signal, yeah, I'd be up like 7,000 pips right now. But yeah, so the previous signal was a sell signal, so the next signal is going to be a buy signal. So I think you should just hang on to that. But yeah, adjust your stop loss at least, you know, to eliminate your risk and guarantee profits. Because, like I said, NFP could be, you know, really random. Anything could really happen from now until NFP tomorrow morning. So in about 12 hours from now, you know, it could keep shooting up or it could reverse super heavily. But yeah, that's a good trade. So I'm gonna move on. We had US 30. I'm gonna look up EU. I looked up EU earlier for Dijon, but I'll look it up again. So yeah, right here, I did mark this high. I can't remember why I marked that high, but oh, because it connected to the other one over here. Yeah, so this data back here, it connected up there. So, you know, the problem with EU is that it's in such a strong uptrend that this just might be a minor pullback before it shoots on up. So personally, let's see, you're in a long position, which is good. You know, you obviously want to go with the trend. But the problem with this is you know, the same situation with all of the pairs. This is paired with the US pair with a US dollar. So, you know, NFP could have a huge effect on this pair. So what I see happening is it's probably going to consolidate super slow. Maybe not that slow, but it's just going to consolidate until tomorrow morning or until London session. And then it might move a little bit. But then the problem with that is that, you know, once NFP happens, you could totally expect your USD to spike. You know, it's either going to spike up because people think the US dollar is going to be weak, or it can spike down. Let me see if I can find the Euro USD IG sentiment. Let's see. So for Euro USD, there are more sellers than buyers. So you're long, which could be good, could be bad. It just depends on where, you know, where price wants to be manipulated. So price could either go, I mean, it can go either way. It could either go up or it could go down. Because the thing is, you know, the 69% of people are short. So what might happen is the banks might push price in the opposite direction. Since there's so many people short, it might push price upwards and then stop people out. But like I said, you know, during NFP, price is going to be spiking either direction. It might spike in both directions actually. So I do see you're in a long position. I would keep your stop loss tight just in case, or you know, enough for there to be breathing room. But I'm not going to see much movement until NFP. So I'm not sure. Let me see. You have long position above. So you have long position at 1.1300, and then your target is at 1.13. Oh, it's not too far. I mean, you're going for 90 pips. I'm not sure your stop loss is, but oh, see, you made some pretty decent profit off this. I would move your stop loss and profit at least. So, you're about in profit about 30 pips. I would move your stop loss and profit maybe 10 pips, like at least to eliminate your risk, so that if it does come down, you know, at least you get out of the trade with profit to cover your commission and spread. Because the thing is, if this comes shooting down, it's going to come shooting down hard because there's nothing stopping it from coming down to the next support. You know, once it gets into this zoned area right here, this is where you don't want to be in a long position, because if you say if we get a sell position, so see right here, price usually bounces from zone to zone. So right here we got a sell position in the middle. So if we get, a sell signal. So if you get a sell signal right here too, it's probably going to come all the way down to this next zone. Similar with this buy signal. So you can see price rejected off this support, got a buy signal, and it shot to the next zone. Kind of similar to right here. It rejected off this zone right here. If we get a sell signal, it's going to come all the way down to this zone, more likely than not. So personally, I would keep your stop loss tight just in case. You know, if you want to have more cushion, at least put it to break even. But that's kind of what I see happening here. You know, it's the same pattern everywhere. Like pretty much right here. You know, when price rejects off a certain point, like right here, rejected off. This is exactly what I'm anticipating. So right here, you can see price rejected off this point right here, like it did where it did currently, and then it got a sell signal and it shot all the way down. So, you want to protect your position in case something like that happens, which might happen right here. Because it's been pushing up for so long, so, it's got to come down at some point. So let me move on to the next one. So after that, next you want to look at the Japanese index. Japanese index is in consolidation. I personally wouldn't be in this trade. Looks like you're in a long position. So it looks like if you're in these positions, you might have been in these for a long time because it looks like you got into these a while back. So let's see, 22,490. Yeah, all of these trades looks like you've been in them since yesterday or 2 days ago, because the entry wouldn't have been triggered for a while now. So 22,490. Yeah, so I'm assuming you probably entered somewhere over here, or maybe even way down here. I'm not sure when you entered this trade, but that'd be on Monday, I guess. I don't like holding trades for that long. That's like too risky for me. Just getting them out. All right, so right here, if you're in this trade, looks like your target is at 22975. Oh, it looks like you hit TP already. So I'm not sure if you're still in this trade, but it looks like it already hit TP if we're looking at the same parameters. So for this, I'm assuming you're out of this trade, but now it's in consolidation. So if you're not in this trade, I'd get out and profit. Next up is GU. GU is the same thing that we went over earlier. Let me go to GU real quick. It's in consolidation, like I was saying. It might come up. It might come down. So personally, it's not something that I would want to be in. Pretty much anything that's paired with the US dollar, I wouldn't want to be in because NFP is affecting it heavily right now. A lot of people are pulling out of the market, and that's why it's consolidating. There's no volatility. So there's not going to be any movement until we hit, NFP, and at that point, the price can either go with you or against you. It's not going to be anywhere in the middle. So yeah, for GU, it's in consolidation, but you're in a long position. It hit some strong resistance right here. So personally, it's going to keep coming up and down. So if you're in that long position, I'd probably exit if you're in profit, or at least move your stop loss and profit for whatever's to come. UJ, same situation here. Go there real quick. All right, so UJ, we had a valid K2 entry right here. I didn't call it, unfortunately, but I do think it's going to keep coming up to this point up here. So you do have a long position, 108.85. So you got in a little later. So you got in somewhere around here. Your TP is at 109.60. That's a pretty big TP. Yeah, it's not that, it's pretty far. So let's see how many pips is it from where it currently is. Yeah, you're trying to reach another 50 pips. I think that's kind of overextending. It might hit up there, but what I would do is I would move your stop loss and profit, and then you could aim for that TP. But yeah, personally, I'm not sure if this will continue on up, because it was like what we were discussing earlier. The Japanese yen is a safe haven currency. So if the NFP is bad news for the US dollar, you can expect this to come shooting way down. So if you're in this position now, you're in a good position because you're in profit, but I would move your stop loss and profit, just in case it reverses on you. Hey Keith, yeah. So to grab my my charts, what I do is I just click this camera button right here. So you click on that, it says take snapshot, and then you'll get the link right there. And then you just post it in Telegram, and then it'll show your chart. It'll pop up. So that's UJ. Let's go to AU real quick. Yeah, it looks like you're trading all the major pairs, which are probably the most dangerous pairs for you to trade right now. It's in a consolidation. It's in the same pattern as UJ. So we just looked at UJ. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it's moving up. See, so right here, it has a buy bias on this one. Megan said, when you're not taking K2 signals, I saw someone in the chat not put a stop loss initially. Yeah, I mean, I always recommend putting a stop loss, but some people have their own exit strategies, or the way that they trade, and they just don't put a stop loss. I don't know if you were in the price action chat or if you were in the premium, but there's some traders in price action that don't put stop loss. I don't think, like, Ness sometimes doesn't put a let's see, dependent on the broker. I'm not sure. I think people just don't put stop losses, by personal preference. I don't think it's because of the broker, but it just really depends on the person trading with regard to their exit strategy. So if they have an exit strategy where they don't put a stop loss and they exit manually, then that might be the case. But personally, I always recommend putting a stop loss just in case, for a safety net. If price just spikes randomly in the other direction, which happens every once in a while. But yeah, I'm not sure who that was, or the reason why they did that. But I always recommend that you put a stop loss, regardless. But for AU, it has a buy bias. Overall trend is trending upwards. But it's also in consolidation, just like everything else. So it looks like you have an AU long position at 6915. So you're pretty far in profit. So let's see. So pretty much for all these positions that you're asking for, if you're in profit rate 35 pips. So I would move your stop loss, at least in profit or to break even at the very minimum, because like I was saying with the other pairs, if the US dollar is weak, then it'll shoot up. But everyone knows that the US dollar is going to be weak. So the problem is banks might do the opposite and bring it down. So if pretty much if you're looking at any USD pair, be very cautious, because those pairs are going to be the ones that are going to be manipulated the most once NFP data is released. So yeah, that goes odd USD, same analysis. Looks like it's breaking on upwards. So if you do have this trade, then yeah, a buy should be cool if you take a buy for that one. So let me see. I'm going to keep going down the list right here. Emmanuel, yeah, I answered that question already. Megan's asking, can you use the strategy on your phone and put the indicators on MT4? No, so the K2 indicators only work on TradingView. You can't use them on MT4. D Thomas, I don't know if he's still here. Let's see. Yeah, he's still here. So D Thomas is asking real quick, would you recommend focusing on one pair? Yeah, so that's actually what I do recommend the most. So I personally would focus on something that has high volatility. Like myself, I really like US30. US30 is probably my favorite pair if you like to trade indices. However, if you're trading Forex, I usually like to trade the pairs that move fast. So I like to trade the euro, like the odd crosses. So odd NZD, I like that. Euro odd, I like that. Euro NZD, GBP AUD, because those move really fast. They move very similar to US30. So if you use those, if you're following those, it'll be a lot easier for you to get in and out of trades. If you're trading something like odd USD, you might be hanging on to this for a while, or something even that moves even slower, like odd CAD. Like odd CAD, it'll move like, let's see, it barely moves at all. It moves like 30 pips on average. If you look at odd NZD, it moves on average like 40, 50 pips. So if you're to, focus on a certain pair, I like to trade like pairs that move fast, like Euro odd. So if you look at Euro odd, this will move like 100 pips, 100, 200 pips. And you definitely want to trade something that's high volatility, because you're trading directional. Unless you're trading options or something that you want something to move slow, then obviously you want to focus on pairs that move very fast if you're going to focus on just one pair, so you get in and out of trades quick. Emily, I'll get to your question a little bit. You're asking how do I trade US30? So Emily, if you're not familiar with Here, let me just go to the YouTube. So if you go on our YouTube, I have my, or actually, no, Emily, if you sign up to the K2 course, I have an explanation how I trade US30. So once you sign up, if you sign up to the free course, that's you know, the K2 intro, you'll have access to these videos here. You're not going to be able to apply the strategy because you're not going to have the indicators. But once you, if you subscribe to the strategy, you'll have the indicators. But if you just want to see how I trade US30, pretty much I have my daily strategy here. This is the one that I normally use. It's the K2 Daily US30 strategy. And I also have my scalping strategies over here under K2 Trade Scalping Strategies. You know, I have the Indices strategy for 5-minute, 30-minute, and then pretty much, you know, intraday scalping. But I'll show you really quick, you know, how I trade US30. I just trade, generally I trade US30 once a day. Which has been very profitable for me. That's why I continue to trade it. So I'll just go to US30 real quick. I'll just show you the trade that we had today. So today we traded US30. Basically what I do is I trade US30 on the 10-minute chart. And what I do is I trade US30 when the New York Stock Exchange opens, because that's when, you know, there's the highest volatility is in play. So the New York Stock Exchange opens my time at 6:30 a.m., which is right here. Okay, so 6:30 a.m. I'm gonna replay it. And my strategy is very easy. I only trade it once a day, and I make, you know, a ton of profits just doing this once a day. It's, you know, low stress, and you just trade it once a day, and you're good. So pretty much what I do is once the New York Stock Exchange opens at 6:30, what I'm doing now is I'm looking for the first valid K2 signal. The K2 signal are these vertical lines right here, these vertical red and green lines, and these indicate swings in momentum of price. So in order for it to be valid, it's gotta be a sell signal with a bearish candle, or right here a bullish candle with a green signal indicating a buy. This would be an invalid signal because it's a sell signal, but it's a bullish candle. And then similar, the opposite direction, if it's a buy signal with a bearish candle, like this. So if it's a buy, it's a buy signal with a bearish candle, this would be invalid. This is a buy signal with a bullish candle. It's green and green, that'd be valid. Right here, it's red and red, that'd be valid. So pretty much what I'm doing here is once the stock market opens at 6:30 a.m., I'm looking for the first candle to appear that's valid, and that's pretty much going to dictate the price for the day. So right here, the stock market's open. What we're doing here is we're waiting for the first momentum candle to make an entry. So as you can see right here, price was moving on up. So if you didn't have the indicators, you know, obviously you probably wouldn't take a sell here because this would just look like a pullback, right? It looks like price was pushing up pretty strong. Looks like it retraced a little bit. But you know what most traders would think is that this is just a minor retracement. It's going to shoot on upwards. However, since we have the K2 indicators, we know the opposite, because we did see in the chat there were people that were advising to buy. However, we were selling because we have, you know, we have our little cheat code here that tells us, you know, what direction price is going. So right here, you know, this is how the strategy works. We basically take the first momentum candle that appears. So right here we have a sell signal. It's a valid sell signal because it's telling you to sell, and it's a bearish candle. So once this appears, you're going to enter on the open of the falling candle right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put the stop loss at the previous swing, which is up here. And what I do is I round it with the 1500 minimum, but to the 500 interval. So that's going to be 1500 right there, 1500 right there, and then we just let it run. And then this was called earlier today, and yeah, it's running really slow. But as you can see right there, it hit full TP. So this is how, sorry, it's still moving. What's going on with this? Okay, anyways, Okay, so right here, this is how I trade this, and pretty much that's what I called this morning. So this morning, I called I called that trade. Let me go to the so this morning I pulled that strategy. Same thing that I called this morning. I told people to sell that same entry right here. You can see it's the same exact trade. I told people to sell, and then pretty much we hit TP down here. And I do this every day. So this was for this day on the 4th. Again on the 3rd, you know, same exact thing. We go back to 6 o'clock, which is 6 o'clock, 6:30. I mean, 6:30 is right there. We rewind it. And then you pretty much take the first valid K2 signal. So right here, this is an invalid signal because it's a sell signal, but it's a bullish candle. In order for this to be valid, it would have to be a bearish candle with a sell signal. So let's wait for the next one. Okay, right here, we got a buy signal. And this would be valid because it's a buy signal with a bullish candle. So right here, I'm going to enter on the open of the falling candle, which is right here. And pretty much same thing we did earlier. You know, minimum is 1,500 pips. So I let that run. And there you go. Hit TP right there. Same thing, and I called that yesterday as well. So if you look at US 30 over here, call that same trade right over here. And then we hit profit target right there. And you know, it's as easy as that. That's pretty much how I trade US 30. I take it once a day. And you know, the win rate's pretty high. So if you look at our results here, so the results for the entire month of here, so for this month, I took two of those trades that I just showed you, and they're both wins. So 2 indices wins, 0 losses. And then for May, if you go over here, this is all of the indices trades for the entire month of May, just doing the same strategy. So I had 14 wins and only 2 losses, and I gained 26,000 pips. So if you're trading that with a standard lot, I mean, this is a little unrealistic because, you know, not a lot of people have that much money to trade US 30, but if you did have that much money, you could have made 260,000. This is more realistic right here. You're trading a 0.10 mini lot. You know, that would equate to 26,000 in profit if you're trading your $1 to pip. And then if you're trading a micro lot, 0.01, you could have still locked in $2,600 for this month of May, just taking 1 trade a day. And you know, it's real simple. But yeah, there goes my US 30 strategy. Let me keep going down the questions, guys. I'm gonna kind of speed through it because you know, we've been on for about a little over 3.5 hours. So let me keep going down. So Ola is asking, which time frame is best for trading? Sometimes I feel I get a valid entry and the trade goes the other way. How do I identify valid entry and exit? So that's gonna really depend on your strategy, Ola. So I mean, I don't know what strategy you're using, but you know, for the K2 strategies, like I said previously, it's real simple the way that I trade. The way that I trade, if you're trading the intraday strategy, all you do is match colors. So right here you have green and green, that makes a valid entry. So if you took this trade right here for US 30, you know, it would have been a winner right here for 2,000 pips. Again, similar to right here, if you enter this right here, you know, it'd still be active, but it looks like it's going to be a winner. It's in profit. So this is how I determine my entries. You know, I try to keep things as simple as possible. You know, there's no reason to overcomplicate things. So you know, depending on your strategy that you're applying, you know, it could differ. It could be, I'm not sure like what would be a valid entry for you, but this would be for me. Pretty much just match colors and then take the trade. And I trade this on the 30-minute. So, but this strategy works on all time frames. So this is a 30-minute. You know, you can go on the 1 hour. Same thing here, it still works. So right here we have green and green, right? Like I was saying, enter that right there. You would have won for 4,000 pips on US 30. So, you know, it just really depends on your strategy. I'm not sure, you know, how to tell you what would be, how to identify a valid entry because I have a specific strategy that I follow. So determining whether an entry is valid or not is going to determine on, you know, it's going to be based on your strategy. So it's just going to be, you know, up to your own preference. Let's see what we have next. So Megan's asking, how do you check the volatility of pairs? You know, I know the volatility because I know which pairs move fast and which don't. But if you want to have like, if you want to figure out what the exact volatility is, then I mean, you can go to forexfactory.com. Yeah, so if you go to Forex Factory, you can do this. You can go here, and then so if you go to market right here, you can, you know, select your pairs, and then you can change the settings right here to the chart. You know, depending on how far you're trading, probably the last 6 hours, maybe 12 hours, you can apply that. And then it'll tell you how much the pips have moved. It's only moved 4 pips for Euro USD, 5 pips for GU. You know, these are barely moving at all. So if you compare it to let me see if I could find one that's good here. So let's go to EA, Euro odd. See, Euro odd moves, if you compare Euro USD, which moves only 4 pips, Euro odd moves 13 pips. So that's a huge difference. You can tell, you know, the volatility between the two different pairs. Similar with UCAD, you know, if you're trading a major pair, they barely move 4 pips, 6 pips, 5 pips, 2 pips. Euro odd moving 13 pips. You know, if you're comparing GBP odd, sorry, doesn't work. See, you can see the huge difference in volatility. EU's moving 4 pips, GU's moving 5 pips, UJ's moving 3 pips, EA's moving 12 pips. You know, GA's moving 16 pips. These are obviously going to be very volatile compared to the other pairs. So if you want to look, you know, if you want to have a little bird's eye view of the volatility, you can just go to forexfactory.com, go to market, and then you can choose, you know, whichever pair you want to see is moving. And generally, if it's moving more than 10 pips, then it's going to be high volatility compared to other pairs. But let me keep going down. Mike Thomas is asking, how many signals do you send on average a day? Are they only indices? No, so they're mostly Forex actually. So if you go here to the results, you can even go to the free alerts page. You just type in results. You can see what signals I sent out, you know, for the month, for this week. So this week you can see I sent out, you know, 3 signals on Sunday. I sent out 8 signals on Monday. Sent out 8 signals on Tuesday. Today there were like 2 signals. It really depends on market conditions. You know, there's no specific number. There's no magic number as, you know, how many pairs are going to be traded during that day. It just really depends if the market's moving or if it's not. So there's no specific, you know, number. Even if you say average, the averages are going to differ. Like, you know, there was 8 trades on Monday and Tuesday, but today there was only 2 trades, and yesterday there was 2 trades too. So if you want the average between those two, you can say about 4 or 5, but, you know, it's not always going to be around there. It just really depends on the market conditions. But you can see here, these all hit full profit target. So, you know, I'm not just giving out random trades. Like, all my trades are, you know, they're actually quality trades. So, you know, quality over quantity. You know, even though I only called 3 trades on Sunday, they all hit TP. I hit 341 pips on a Sunday. That's like half a day. Again, on Monday, you know, I hit 8 wins right here for, you know, 600, 700 pips. You know, it really depends on the day. Because if you're comparing it to like, so if you go to last week. So last week right here, May week 4, you know, on Monday I called 4 trades. Tuesday I called 3 trades. Wednesday I called 2 trades. You know, Thursday I called like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 trades. So it's really going to depend. It's like between 3 and 6 trades on average. Romanio's asking, have you considered doing daily NOS and S&P? No, not really, Romanio. I don't really trade those. I just, you know, I like US 30, and that's all I'm going to stick to. So I'm probably not going to go to those because, you know, I'd rather just focus on US 30 and then just bank on that because I have such a high win rate for that I can just go heavy on it. I can go heavy lot sizes and just make a lot more money focusing on just one pair. Maybe in the future, or I mean, there's a lot of traders and, you know, K² Premium that trade those indices. So maybe they'll be making calls for those specifically. But me personally, I'm probably not going to move away from US 30. Yeah, Keith could try. He's been like scalping S&P, so he's probably the expert on S&P compared to me because I don't really trade that. Megan's asking a short for USD SGD. I'm not going to analyze that as a short because I'm taking it. We're all taking longs on that trade. So personally, I think it's going to bounce. So this is what I see happening right here. It's at a strong support right here, so I don't really see it coming lower. So, I mean, it might, but you know, personally, I'm not gonna you know, analyze against my own trade. So my bias is still a buy, even though it's coming down here. Personally, I don't know what happened with this trade. Like when we first took this trade, it was a strong buy. So let me just rewind to when we took this trade. So we took this trade over here and we got a buy signal. But you know, the market's been acting weird because it's NFP. So that's why I'm anticipating it to bounce back, because this is when we took the trade. Obviously, it looked like it was going to shoot on up because it came down. It tested the support like 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, four or five times. And then I thought I was going to shoot on up. What happened though, there was news in the morning. There was Euro news, and then it caused it to come down. So this is where it currently is right now, but I'm still anticipating it to bounce off this. So I know you have, you know, you asked for analysis for short, but I still think it's going to come up. So that's my analysis of USD SGD. And then your next question is USD CHF. Pretty much the same analysis for every other USD pair I analyzed. It's in consolidation. So there's no, unless there's something that comes out that, you know, that acts as a catalyst of direction, you know, it's just going to keep going within this consolidation until NFP tomorrow. It might move during London since it's a Swiss pair, but, you know, I don't really see it moving very much. So there goes USD CHF. Like Josh is asking, so is that 30 trading days in total? Is Josh still here? Oh yeah, Josh is still here. Yeah, Josh. So 30. I think you're talking about FTMO, right? So FTMO, yeah, for FTMO it's 30 days total. So you have 30 days to pass the challenge, but you have to trade for a minimum of 10 days. So basically, what I do is I hit my goal within the 10 days, and then I just take soft trades, like some penny trades, you know, to max out the rest of the days left. So pretty much I'll lock in, you know, my $5,000 you know, requirement to pass the challenge, and then from there I'll just take some really small trades, like 0.01 penny trade, and just scalp it basically to pretty much get through it. Yeah, so stage 1, you have 30 days to pass stage 1. Stage 2, you'll have 60 days to pass that. I don't know why they gave us so much time to pass that, because you only need to make, you know, 2,500. I can make that in one trade. So it's the same thing. You'll have 60 days to pass that challenge, but then you still have a 10-day minimum trading period. So, you know, once I hit that trade, I'm basically gonna just do the same thing I did. And then the third stage, you become funded. So there's only really 2 stages. First stage is 30 days. That's how much time you have, but it really shouldn't take you that long, because it only takes, you know, 2 or 3 US 30 wins, and you pretty much beat the challenge. And, you know, with our win rate, you can do that easily within a week. But yeah, the first stage 1 is 30 days, and then stage 2 is 60 days. D. Thomas is asking, is it too late to get started with the FTMO challenge? No, it's not. It's not late at all. You can just, I think I sent the link here for the FTMO. Yeah, if you scroll up, it has my FTMO link right there, and you can pretty much sign up whenever. And then your time is going to start as soon as you take your first trade. Cam's asking if I ignored his question. Sorry. Let's see. Terrence asking transparency. Yeah, no problem. Anonymous attendees asking, does FTMO give you a broker to trade? Yeah, you can choose from their broker list, but I personally just go with LMAX. They're an institutional broker, so you know, they have like best spreads available, and if you're using them personally, they cost a lot for you to just trade on your own. So I personally just trade with you know, FTMO since they pay all the fees. And Josh is asking, so literally 30 trading days. No, so from the first day you take a trade, that's when your clock starts. So with it from that day, 30 days forward, you have to pass a challenge within that time period. If you don't pass the challenge within those 30 days, then you fail the challenge and then you have to start over. So pretty much, you know, if you started trading today, then, you know, you have to finish it within 30 days. And yeah, the minimum is 10 days. So you have to trade for 10 days. So pretty much each day I just take a baby trade, like, you know, a small penny trade if I'm not taking a full trade. But I was taking, you know, the US 30 trades every day. So pretty much, you know, have 5 chances to you know, win a US 30 trade since I trade Monday through Friday, or not even Friday, maybe Monday through Thursday. And then, you know, on the other days, I just take small trades to pass time, or to pass the day basically. Yeah, it's the same thing for all the challenges. It's just going to be your profit target for, you know, each account size. So for 50K, you have to hit 5,000. For 100K, I think you have to hit 10,000. But it's the same thing because you're going to be risking the same amount. You know, it doesn't matter what account size you do because you can still pass it regardless. You just need to up your lot size. Oh, you're on the trial. Yeah, I mean, you might as well just do the real challenge because you're kind of wasting time with the trial. Because I mean, yeah, because obviously you know the US 30 strategy works. So you really have nothing to worry about. You just copy my US 30 trade and, you know, guarantee you win. Oh, I know. Yeah, it's expensive. Well, that's why I did the 50K first, because I wanted to test it out. But now that I've passed the 50K, I'm gonna go for the I mean, 600 bucks, yeah. To a normal person, that's a lot, but for me, that's like one trade, like a normal trade that I take with my own personal account. So I was kind of like, all right, well, if I lose this challenge, it's just like losing a normal trade. So for me, it was like a no-brainer. Yeah, pretty much for me, it was like, all right, so I could risk 600 bucks to trade risk-free and then have unlimited profits. I was like, why not? But, you know, it was probably a bad decision on my part to do it right away without, you know, actually thinking it all through. But I'm kind of glad I did, you know, the real challenge, because now, you know, I'm one step closer to pretty much making it. Yeah, 2K this week, man. A lot of people won this week. It was crazy, Josh. Like, just looking at our results this week, it's insane. Like, this is just from was it on Tuesday? So like on Tuesday, we already came up with like 1,500 pips, 1,535 pips. So literally, if I was trading, well, I was trading standard lot, but I didn't make this much because I wasn't. I closed some of them early because I got kind of scared. You know, I should have just held them. But if I did hold them right all the way, I would have made 15K this week. You know, you made 2K. That's nice. Like yeah, you're probably trading a, you know, a little bit above mini lot. Because if you're trading a mini lot, even whoever was trading that small amount would have made 1,500. Which is, you know, we did pretty good this year. I mean, not this year, this week. All right, let's see. But yeah, anonymous attendee was asking me if FTMO gives you a broker. Yeah, they give you a choice of broker. There's a lot of brokers you can choose from, but I think for US clients, they just stick you with LMAX. I didn't really have a choice when I was choosing. I just pretty much took what they gave me. Let's see, Craig's asking, with a whole team of traders all trading the same US 30 FTMO singles, will that create a big blip in the market for banks to target? Any downside? Not really, Craig, because the thing is, we trade only during a certain time period. Like, we're not trading throughout the day like with Forex. You know, with Forex, they're able to manipulate the market because they can flip it around when there's news events or anything going on. The thing with US 30 is that we don't control the market. Like, when you buy a US 30 position, this is based on the future. The futures, like, people that are trading the actual future are moving the market. Like, they're moving it up and down. Our trades are just, we're just putting we're basically putting bets that price is going to move up and down. Personally, I don't think that our trades actually move the US 30 market because we're not trading the actual future. We're trading, you know, I don't know what to call it, but it's basically, we're just putting place bets. that price is going to move in that direction. It's not like stocks where you're buying, you know, Apple stock and the stock's going to go up. You can't really buy a US 30 index unless you know you're buying the future. That's my understanding. I don't know. I might be wrong. I might be right. I have no idea. But I don't think that you know, us putting trades during, you know, a specific point in time is really going to affect it very much, because we're only trading during the New York session. If you're trading around this time, like, you know, when the market's closed after hours and you're putting a ton of trades, then yeah, your market's going to get manipulated to stop you out. But we're trading when everyone else is trading. The volatility is so high that, you know, a whole team of traders, there's only like 300 of us, you know, compared to, you know, the million traders in the world. I don't think we're going to make a huge difference. So I think we're pretty much fine for the most part. Brian Webster's asking, do you trade using TradingView? Yeah, so if you saw earlier when I placed the odd NZD trade, I pretty much just placed it directly on the chart when I was charting it. I just pretty much click sell and then I trade directly off TradingView. Sumit is asking, is the K2 US 30 strategy only valid on the 10-minute? Yeah, Sumit, so let me see if Sumit's still here. Yeah, Sumit's still here. So hey, Sumit, for the US 30 10-minute strategy, you can use it on both. I actually back tested both, but the results came up far superior on the 10-minute. So I think so I took all the trades from March until the end of May, and I had about 42 wins on the 10-minute and only 2 losses, while on the 5-minute I had the same amount, 42 wins but 5 losses. So the win rate was higher on the 10-minute, which is why I stick with the 10-minute, but you can use it for both. Brian is asking, let's see, is Brian still here? Brian's not here anymore, but Brian, he was asking how to get the 10-minute chart. So basically the way to do it, you just click on the chart and then you type in 10, and then it'll change to the 10-minute chart. You can also click on this right here, and you can create your interval down here. Let's see, Vic. All right, Vic said he took a buy on KJPY at 9 a.m. Central Time using the strategy. Can you take a look and give me thoughts on the 1-hour candle? So let me go to KJPY real quick. Finally getting your question, Vic. Sorry, I had like 40 questions before yours. So let me let me go to the other chart. Go here real quick. Maximize this. KJPY. All right, so right here on the you said 1 hour. So 1 hour Central Time. I think you guys are a little bit ahead. I'm not sure what's 9 a.m. Central Time. I think you guys are ahead of us. So that'd probably be like maybe 2 hours ahead. I'm just gonna pull it up around 9 a.m. So it was sometime in the morning. Oh, 2 hours ahead. Okay, cool. All right, so Vic said, so that'd be 7 a.m. for me. Oh, so you took this candle right here. This looks like a good entry, but the problem is, I'm not sure if you're aware with NFP, because, you know, due to the current conditions, because of NFP, and the thing is, the JPY, the Japanese yen, is a safe haven currency. So that's why it's been consolidating this whole time right here. So it's probably going to keep doing this until NFP. So it looks like you're in profit right now. You know, once this candle closes, if it closes green like that, then it's probably going to keep pushing on forward. But I would at least move your stop loss to break even or somewhere in profit, because I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware with, like, you know, how NFP affects the market, but you could expect this to spike like 50 to 100 pips. You know, like once it hits 5:30 a.m. tomorrow. Although it looks like a good trade. It looks like it's doing fine. But due to the conditions, you know, this could literally reverse on you at any point in time. So to be safe, once this closes, I think it's going to keep shooting on up. So I think you're fine. But the problem with this is, you know, like I said, NFP could really affect the market pretty heavy. So I personally would, I would hang on, but then I would move your stop loss as soon as this closes and moves up a little higher, just to you know, eliminate your risk and guarantee profits, you know, just in case. Let's see. Yeah, it does look good overall. So this looks a pretty good trade. Let's see what else we got. Anonymous attendee, do you think NOS is going to be going back bearish? Personally, it can go anywhere. You know, back to what I've been saying this whole time. You know, the indices are going to be affected heavily tomorrow with NFP because it's the unemployment data. But it's been consolidating pretty much for, you know, the longest time right here. So consolidated for a while right here, and then it's going to do the same thing and consolidate here for like another who knows how long until NFP happens. So once NFP happens tomorrow morning, you know, if the US dollar is weak, then it might shoot down. If the US dollar is strong, it might show. It doesn't have a direct correlation like it should, but it could literally go either way. So personally, this is not something that I would play around with unless, you know, you're willing to risk your account, because this is going to move a lot tomorrow, and when it does move, I can almost guarantee that there's going to be slippage. There's going to be people that are going to lose their accounts entirely within seconds once NFP is released, especially with an indice, because indices are valued so much higher than you know, normal Forex pairs. So I'd be careful with this if you're trading you know, NASDAQ. John said, although we have K2 as an edge, is there a feasible way to apply the VIX for an added advantage? Hey, John, what do you mean by VIX? I'm not familiar with. I'm not sure if we talked about this before, but I'm not really sure what you mean by VIX. I remember talking about this with someone. I'm not sure if it was you or someone else, but I don't know. I can't really think of what you meant by that. I'm not sure. I think you said it was an indicator last time, right? Something like that. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, I don't even use the VIX, so I don't even know. I've never seen it or used it before. So honestly, I can't really answer your question. So is it this indicator? I'm not sure. I mean, see, I don't really go into these complicated indicators because I don't really think they're very useful. I know a lot of people like to use these indicators, but personally, I don't think it's really useful. It just overcomplicates things. But yeah, I'm not familiar with the. Is it this indicator, John? Because I've never used it before, so I can't really, you know, give you my opinion on it. You know, if it works, if you use it and it works, then then yeah, then literally you can use K2 with anything. There's no specific, you know, format or, you know, order that you should be using them. There's a lot of people that use them with, you know, their own strategies. Like say if you're trading, you know, like support and resistance. So if you're trading support and resistance, like here, and you drew a resistance right here. As price broke this resistance, like, and you got a buy signal, you could have taken a buy entry. Similar with you know, if you're drawing trend lines, you know, there's some people that like to trade off trend lines, and what they do is they, you know, they draw trend lines, and then what they do is if they see a buy signal, they'll just take a buy. Again, right here, you see a buy signal, you know, trending up, they would just take a buy. So there's no one way to you know, apply the K2 indicators. You could literally apply it to any strategy that you like. You know, personally, I've never used the VIX indicator before, the volatility index. So personally, I can't really answer that question, but I'm sure there's a way that you can apply it if you know how to use it properly. In the watch list. Oh, so it's a pair? Oh, you're talking about a pair. Okay, I thought you were talking about an indicator. Gotcha. Oh yeah, no, look, it works perfectly. You got a sell signal right here, matched, sell and sell, straight winner right there. Um, you know, I don't trade it myself, so I can't really say because, but it looks like it works. So like right here, we got a sell. It's a valid sell, red and red. You're taking this, and then, you know, someone mentioned this to me recently. It was like some traders from South Africa. They were mentioning, they were saying that this is really big in Africa, and they were asking me if I could analyze it for them, which I did. It wasn't this mix though. It was like volatility index 500 or something like that. But there's a lot of traders from Africa that have been reaching out to me, and they've been asking me if I can trade on VIX, uh, which, I mean, I don't trade VIX, but it looks really good here. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people that have been reaching out to me. We have a lot of Indian traders that have reached out to me too. They asked me to look up their specific index in India because they can't trade US pairs. But I mean, it works perfectly. This is a 1 hour though, so I probably wouldn't trade it on the 1 hour. I'd probably trade it on the shorter time frames. But it I mean, it's hard to analyze, but check this out, Megan. It works out really well. So if you look right here, this is a really nice entry. See, I don't know what these pips are worth, but I mean, it is really choppy. You can see it gaps around a lot. So I'm not like, you have to play around with it. Oh, so yeah, if it moves it that fast, I wouldn't trade it on the 30-minute either. I'd probably trade it on the 10-minute. But yeah, if you're trading this on the 10-minute, you can scalp these really, really, really easily. So look right here, we have a sell entry right here. I probably wouldn't take this full move. I'd probably just scalp it. What is this? Like, this is 950 pips. So I'd probably use a VPN. Okay, that makes sense. But literally, you could scalp this. If you wanted to manually enter these trades, you could just manually enter and then exit. But it looks like it matches up pretty well. This sell would have been a win. This would have been, maybe a win if you held on to it. Literally, you could take all these. Oh, that's a lot. So right here, a sell, big win right there, big win right there, a big win right here. Oh, these are a lot of wins. So if you, I don't know even know what this is worth, but if you took all these sell trades right here, these are all straight winners. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 wins right there, 12, 13. Wow, that's a lot. See, there was no losses right here. So if you looked at this, there was like 15 wins here with no losses. There's a ton of wins right here. Yeah, I probably could. I mean, it looks perfectly fine. It looks really easy. You could probably even apply, my US 30 strategy on this too. I don't know what time the market opens, but if you know what time the VIX market opens, like how I do with US 30, you can probably time it and oh, it never closes. Okay, so you can literally do this all day. You can just scalp it. You can even go in the lower time frames. If you use my scalping strategy, yeah, if you use my scalping strategy, you can make a ton of money off this. I mean, it's kind of choppy though, so it's a little harder to analyze and figure out how it works. But I'll definitely take a look at this and see if I can do something, because I do have a lot of traders that are international that have been reaching out to me because they've seen how powerful K2 is, and they want to apply it to their own markets, which is 100% possible. It's just that I've never traded this before, so I'm not too familiar with it. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely like Megan said, this could be something separate brewing. So maybe by next month I'll start analyzing this stuff. Keith's asking off-topic question: what made you come up with K2 trades? This is revolutionary for real. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with my background, but I've been trading for about 8 years now, and I traded solo for a long time. And when I was starting out trading, I didn't really have a community to trade with. I didn't have anybody to ask, get help from. I literally learned everything on my own through YouTube and Facebook. I'm not Facebook, YouTube and Google. So I just Googled Forex, and I learned so much stuff, and it was good because I learned all the bad and I learned all the good. So, during that time, during that whole 5-year period, I was able to figure out what was good in every other strategy that I learned. So I put them all together and I put together the K2 strategy, which is, basically like a super strategy where I've taken all the best parts from every other strategy that I've learned that I liked, and then I put them all into one package strategy that works perfectly fine. And as you guys can see from the results, it's pretty amazing, what I've created. And then, I was still trading solo for about 5 years until last year. I figured I might as well trade. I started a community because there was a lot of traders that would ask me for help, and I wanted a centralized area where I could teach people and help people learn how to trade, because it took me like 5 years to get trading down, but people are joining K2 and learning how to trade profitably like I am, within a couple weeks, couple months, and so on. So that's pretty much how I came up with K2. It was, I started off by starting with a free trading community, and I used to just give out my free trades all the time until people wanted to learn how to trade exactly how I did. And obviously, to trade how I do, you need to have my indicators, and that's when K2 became a company. So K2's only been a company for a few months now. It hasn't been around for too long. But as you can see, if you guys have been here from the beginning, we've been growing exponentially within the past couple months, to the point where I was able to quit my job. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with what I was doing prior to starting K2. I was actually an attorney, so I was working 12-hour days as an attorney, and it was stressful. I hated my job, hated going to work. So I made trading full time, and this is my real passion, and this is what I like to do. So if I can be a good trader, I'm here to teach everyone else to, be just as good a trader as well. Especially if you don't like the position you're in, or, where you're at in life, trading opens a lot of doors for you, like for me. So yeah, pretty much I'm just, I'm passing it on down to whoever else wants to learn to trade, how I do. And, as you can see, we have a ton of profitable traders in K2. So this is just the beginning. So if you guys are just joining us, we've got a long way to go, guys. Like K2 has just started. So you guys are basically starting with K2 as we have begun. And, we're just going to keep going and growing and growing and growing over the years. So you guys are in a great place if you guys are here now. But let's see. I think that's about it with the questions. I think that's pretty much it for the most part. Kenneth has one more question about S&P. Can we pull up S&P real quick? So S&P over here. We'll go to the 4 hour. So we looked at S&P earlier, Kenneth. It doesn't really. Sorry, let me move this thing over. What happened to my screen? So let me just go to S&P real quick. So S&P is it's in an overall long bias. You can see it's still trending up pretty heavily over here. But like we were discussing earlier, NFP is coming up in a couple hours. So if you are in this trade, I know Megan's in this trade, I think. She's doing pretty well with this. I think I deleted the marking, but if you're in this trade, personally, it's definitely in a buy bias, so I wouldn't sell it, not yet at least. But personally, I wouldn't be entering any of the indices right now if you're not already in it, because NFP could really screw up your trade. So I'd be careful if you are in the trade. At least move your stop loss and profit. But it does have a buy bias. I'll check if there's any zones nearby. So there's not even any zones. It's out in the open. So let me look on the other time frames. So right here, it might come up to this resistance right here, and it might reject. So if it does reject off that resistance, that could be a bad thing if you're in a buy, because it would qualify as like a triple top. So let me so actually it'd be like a quadruple top. So it tested out here 1, 2, 3, and it'd be a quadruple top up here, and then it could come crashing down. So I'd be really careful with this if you're in this trade for a long position. It's been pushing up for a long time. So you can see here, it's been in a strong uptrend. since May 15. It's a long time. So, you know, basic trading, generally, you know, if it's been pushing up for that long, basic trading fundamentals, if it's been pushing up that long, it's got to come down at some point. So you can see it's been testing this resistance right here, and it's been testing it 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Once it tests again, it might come down and reverse. So if you guys are in this trade, I'd be really careful. At least move your stop loss and profit, just in case something happens. Plus NFPs in a few hours, not a few hours, but like in about 8 hours or so. So that's going to affect S&P heavily because it's going to be the U.S. Unemployment data. But yeah, guys, so there goes S&P. I think that answers all the questions. We've been on this call for about 4 hours now, guys. So I think it's about time for me to hop off. But yeah, I hope you guys, gain something from this webinar. Just a reminder, I do this every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to stay on as long as we need to if there's questions. But right now we just got through all the questions, so we're pretty much done for the day. But yeah, I'll be back on next Tuesday. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to message me on Telegram so I could help you guys out. But yeah, till then, guys, it was a good live trading room and a live trading webinar. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. See you guys later.